Welcome to the All-State Game of the Week on ESPNU.
Moments ago, the Stanford Cardinal. The Stars and Stripes waving high here in Durham, North Carolina, coming onto the field. Welcome to the ACC on ESPN. It's the All-State Game of the Week. And a beautiful day here in Durham. Today, the Duke Blue Devils host the number 6 Stanford Cardinal and their quarterback, considered the best player in all of college football, Mr. Andrew Luck. There he is. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Durham, North Carolina, alongside my partner, former Michigan quarterback Brian Griese. I'm Clay Matvick. The college football world was given a great gift when Andrew Luck decided to pass on the NFL and come back to Stanford for his junior season. And Brian, you recently spent a lot of time with the new face of college football. What were your impressions of Andrew Luck?
Well, you know, the first thing I noticed was Andrew Luck operates on a day-to-day basis like he's accomplished nothing, which is incredible. He was 12-1 a year ago, won the Orange Bowl, runner-up in the Heisman. But for him, he doesn't take anything for granted. Each day, every meeting, every practice, Andrew Luck is trying to get better. It's a relentless pursuit of perfection in a lot of ways, and it's what endears him to so many and so refreshing in college football today.
And he is a great leader. Throughout this game, we're going to be analyzing what makes Andrew Luck different from most of the college quarterbacks out there today. Now, there were several reasons why Andrew Luck decided to come back to Stanford, not the least of which the relationship he has with his new head coach, David Shaw.
It's a great relationship. Make no mistake, David Shaw is not Jim Harbaugh, but David Shaw has the same fire that burns in his belly that Jim Harbaugh had. He's very much more reserved, but he is the offensive mastermind behind this Stanford offense and their production in the last 2 years. Make no mistake, he is a genius when it comes to offensive football.
Duke, which is coming off a loss to Richmond last week, has won the toss. They have deferred. Stanford will receive, and we're underway here at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. Chris Owusu. The return gets it back only to the 15-yard line. And that's where we'll get our first look at this Stanford offense, quarterbacked by Andrew Luck. And Stanford is 21-5 in his 26 career starts. He found 7 different receivers last week, Brian. 17 of 26 for 171 and a couple of touchdowns in a win over San Jose State. It'll be interesting to see how they do here on the road against a team that's hungry for a win.
Well, Andrew means so much to this team, both throwing the football but also making checks at the line of scrimmage in the run game, and that's where this offense starts. To check on the first play.
First play from scrimmage for the Stanford Cardinal. Luck, handoff to Stephon Taylor, the junior running back. And he's going to get it out to the 19-yard line, a pickup of 4, so second down and 6 coming up.
And the thing about Andrew is he has the only guy that's won more games percentage-wise in college football than him actively is Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is 39-2, but Andrew Luck is second in that category, and that's, to me, the ultimate judge of a quarterback is winning. It should always be winning. And Andrew Luck has all the intangibles that so many people talk about, but at the end of the day, he's a winner.
On second down and 6, fires it out to the far sideline, caught at the 20-yard line, and taken out of bounds close to the 30 is Chris Owusu. He is the top receiver in the wide receiving corps. Now, the tight ends are very special for this unit, and Andrew Luck is going to be looking for them a lot through the year.
Going to be a lot of work for the tight ends, but also Owusu is really their go-to receiver, really the guy that sticks out at the wide receiver position. But a lot of questions coming into this season. Who's going to step up at the wide receiver position? Griff Whalen, number 17, you'll see him a little bit sprinkled in, but you'll see a heavy dose of tight ends and Chris Owusu.
First down and 10 from the 30. After the first Stanford first down, Flea Flicker, Taylor back to Luck, downfield, man wide open. Caught at the 41-yard line of Duke. It's Owusu. Steps out of a tackle. On his feet inside the 30. Out at the 27-yard line. Matt Daniels finally forced Owusu out. It's a 43-yard play.
Well, we certainly didn't see that one coming. You think Stanford comes in, play conservatively, but they take a shot. You see when Andrew goes to throw the football, there's a defender deep, And so he doesn't try to throw the ball deep. He tries to throw the ball on a back shoulder, which allows the receiver to come back and get the football for a big completion. But that play didn't work as they had scripted to throw the ball deep over the top, but a great adjustment by Andrew Luck.
The Cardinal in plus territory for the first time today. Deep handoff to Taylor. Taylor bounces it to the near sideline and pushed out of bounds inside the 15 by Walt Canty. A good run on first down for Stephen Taylor. He had 61 yards and a couple of touchdowns against San Jose State last week. He gets 13 on that play.
And it's interesting. This offense mixes the run and pass better than any offense in college football, in my opinion. They're going to run the ball to set up the pass. They're going to pass the ball to set up the run. You don't know on a down-by-down basis what they're going to do with the football. And it's difficult to stop.
4 receiver set. Taylor, the lone setback. Luck wants to throw on first down. Steps up and goes down. DeWalt on Dijo with a rare sack of Andrew Luck. It's a loss of 1, the first time he's been sacked this year. Here are the impact players presented by Lee.
And when they do run the football, their main guy up front, David DeCastro, last year first team all Pac-10. He is the beef eater up front that will make guys move. And then after that, you got Kobe Fleener, the tight end. He's going to be the one down the field that he's going to look to in play action. And then you see Michael Thomas. We'll talk about him in the next series on defense.
Griff Whalen lined up far left. They go to the fullback, Jeff Meinken, the sophomore out of Linwood, Washington. And he'll bowl ahead for a yard or 2. Austin Gamble, the linebacker, makes the stop. And it's going to be spotted at the 7-yard line. It's a 7-yard run there for Meinken. 3rd and 4 coming up.
Zach Ertz and Kobe Fleener, the 2 top tight ends for the Stanford Cardinal, come in on this 3rd and 4.5 to 5 situation. They like to flex them out sometimes. Look for them to line up in sets where they could run routes as wide receivers.
Stanford 8 for 8 last week in the red zone with a pair of touchdowns. Caught inside the 5. It is Drew Terrell, and he's stopped. Looks like he's going to be just a bit short of the first down. It's a gain of 3 for Terrell.
Ertz, the tight end, number 86, will come in motion across the screen. It's just going to be a slip screen to Terrell at the top of the screen. Ertz
he did get it.
Takes 2 guys with him into the corner of the end zone, which opens up the middle of the field for Terrell to get a big conversion.
Yeah, he did get that first down. So first down and goal to go for the Stanford Cardinal. 3 receivers line up to the right. Luck under center. Play clock down to 3. Taylor straight ahead, hit and dropped. Nothing up the middle for Stephen Taylor. Kelby Brown, the weak side linebacker, made the stop. No gain. 2nd down, a goal to go.
That's a big first drive for the Duke defense last week, coming off a very difficult loss to the Richmond Spiders, a game they felt like they could win. And Coach Cutliff said that they had some mistakes, some critical errors on defense that gave up some big plays, about 20 points in that game. If they can get a stop here on the first drive for Stanford, that would be a win to force a field goal attempt.
Play fake to the end zone. Luck has a man, caught for the touchdown. Kobe Fleener, who had a touchdown in the opener last week, gets Stanford on the board here.
Kobe Fleener's just too big, 6'6". You see him on the right side of the screen. He gets a release. That's the most important thing on a goal line route, to get the release. Don't get caught up in there. Get away. And then his speed, 4.5 speed, separates from the defender for his first touchdown of the day.
Jordan Williamson on for the PAT. And he got it. 7-0 Stanford. And still a lot of time to go here in the first quarter. Great opening drive for the Cardinal. Kobe Fleener with his 2nd touchdown of the year. All-State Game of the Week, brought to you by Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. And 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast. Visit 5hourenergy.com. A very impressive opening drive for the number 6 Stanford Cardinal on their opening series. 9 plays, 85 yards in just under 5 minutes. It's a touchdown pass from Andrew Luck to Kobe Fleener.
Andrew Luck is most potent when he is able to use his running game. You see off the play action, he's got a nice high release. That's one of the things that pro scouts really like about Andrew Luck. And you see the rotation on the ball. Great shot from our slow-mo cam we'll have throughout the game today to capture some of the footwork, the eyes, and the release of the best college football quarterback today.
5 running plays, 4 passing plays on that drive. Mixed it up nicely. Now Jordan Williamson has it on the tee, ready to kick off. Jamison Crowder, good return man for Duke, back deep to return this kick. And it's Crowder backpedaling into the end zone. He'll bring it out. Gets to the 20. Stiff arm, but he's into a man, and he's down at the 21-yard line. Let's go down to Allison.
Guys, when we talked to the Stanford coaches earlier this week, they said this team was psyched to get Andrew Luck back because they genuinely like him. And it's easy to see why. Since he came out here, he's been all smiles. Before the game, he hugged and head bumped each one of his offensive linemen. After that touchdown, he talked to head coach David Shaw. Then he went right over to his O-line, gave him a big thumbs up, told him, let's go, guys. Good job out there. Keep it up. He walked away for a little bit, then came right back to the big guys up front and reminded them again how pleased he was with their performance, guys.
He is a leader in every sense of the word. Another pretty good leader out there now, quarterbacking the Duke Blue Devils. Sean Renfrey out of the gun to throw on first down. And he has it complete. It's Brandon Braxton with a pickup of 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 6.
I'm looking forward, Clay, to watching Sean Renfrey play today. Last week didn't have as good a game as he would have liked. They certainly would have liked to have won the game against Richmond. But now, you know, everybody's talking about Andrew Luck coming into your building. How are you going to respond with your team, and how are you going to play in a huge game? I want to see how he does.
He was a little disappointed in himself after that loss last week. Dumps it off short. This is going to be first down yardage for Connor Vernon after the catch. Second team All-ACC last year with close to 1,000 yards receiving, picks up 14. And that's one thing to keep in mind, Brian. They've got good receivers on this team if they can get the ball to them.
They've got 2 great receivers and a lot of experience in Connor Vernon. Also, Donovan Varnard in the slot, number 26. You'll see him catch a lot of balls, but a great start. I love the play call. Get an easy completion. Get the confidence of your quarterback up early in the game.
First down. Duke has it at their own 40-yard line on their opening series. Renfrey again, a quick throw. Gets it into Jamison Crowder's hands. He's got some speed, and he gets it across midfield. Down to the 49 of Stanford. It's another first down. Batamosi had to step up to make the tackle.
David Cutcliffe is a mastermind calling plays, and his offensive coordinator, Kurt Roper, they knew that Stanford likes to be aggressive early in games, bring pressures, and so what do? Misdirection the first play, a screen pass on the second play to eliminate the threat of blitz.
Now Brandon Kinnett, the backup quarterback, hands off to Juwan Thompson, and he rips off a big run to the 30-yard line. A 19-yard run for Thompson. Duke's run game was last in the nation a couple of years ago, but it's moving the ball here.
Well, and Juwan Thompson started last week, but he split time with Scott, the backup, but he's going to get the full load today, and a good sign. Him breaking tackles, a big kid, 5'11", 215 pounds. If he gets into the second level, he's tough to bring down for safeties.
And just like that, Brandon Kinnett back on the sideline, and Renfrey back under center. We will see both quarterbacks a lot today, according to David Cutcliffe. Renfrey slips away from center, regains himself, and throws it downfield to Cooper Helfet, the tight end. Delano Howell pushes him out, but it's another first down for Duke, a 16-yard gain.
Another misdirection. This play, I think if Renfrey doesn't stumble out of the quarterback-center exchange, they may have a touchdown, as Helfet would have gotten deep behind the secondary. But I love the play call. Take your best shot at a team coming in and trying to score.
Kinnett comes back in. He'll take the snap from center out of the shotgun, trying to run it himself, and nothing there. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Shane Scove, the team's top returning tackler for Stanford, led the team with 7 tackles last week. He's always around the ball.
Well, he is, and you know the thing I love about Shane Scove is he is full go every minute of every day. And a great story about him, he picked that number 11. You know why, Clay? Because they said it looks like 2 rockets on my jersey, and he wants to rocket through backfields. I thought that was great.
Renfrey back in. Under center, eye backfield, a man in motion. 2nd down and 10. Renfrey, play fake, rolling to his right. Gets it in the hands of Brandon Braxton. Inside the 10-yard line. There is Scove again to make the tackle. It's a gain of 5. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
And you look at David Cutcliffe again, another naked. That's the 3rd one on this series. And you use the misdirection and play action naked game when you want to slow down the rush of your defense. And David Cutcliffe's no dummy. He understands this defensive line for Stanford is big and powerful, and I want to protect my offensive line early by moving the pocket with my quarterback.
8th play of the drive for Duke. This is Renfrey. Quick pass, incomplete, and it's going to be 4th down for Duke as Crowder couldn't make the catch. The defense was right there anyway. I don't know if he was going to be able to pick up the 1st down, but now the field goal unit comes out for Duke.
They had 2 linebackers lined up right over the center, and as a quarterback, you've got to understand how you're being protected. That was a scat protection, only 5 guys in to protect, and Sean Renfrey had no chance to get rid of the football.
There's Will Snyderwine, who missed potential game-winning field goal last week from 27 yards out. And it's no good. And that's what David Cutcliffe was worried about. His All-American kicker from last year has been in a slump. And Duke, with a nice drive, comes up empty on their first series. Andrew Luck, 3 for 3, 57 yards in this touchdown pass on the opening drive.
That's pretty easy pitch and catch there to Kobe Fleener. Kobe Fleener had 3 touchdowns in the Virginia Tech game and the Orange Bowl. You can see here Andrew Luck throwing the ball to his favorite targets, the tight ends. Pretty good, 74% completion percentage and 11-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. There's no doubt who his favorite targets are.
Stanford has it 1st down and 10 at their own 20 after a missed field goal by Duke after a nice drive. This is Ryan Hewitt, the fullback. And he's got a 1st down. Stopped at the 31. It's a 13-yard reception. Matt Daniels makes the tackle. Now, Hewitt is used almost like a tight end.
Yeah, he's going to be all over. He'll line up in the fullback position, line up in the wing, and he'll line up out flexed as well. He's kind of their 4th tight end. I mean, this team has the best group of tight ends in the country, and I think that's unquestioned. They've got speed, they've got power to block, and they've also got versatility.
Luck to Taylor. Lowers his head. Gets it out to about the 38-yard line. Let's go to the studio in Darinoka.
All right, guys, how about Oregon coming off of last week's loss to LSU in Arlington? Now they're home against Nevada, one of 2 FBS teams that didn't play last week. LaMichael James, 29 yards on the ground so far. That touchdown. Ducks went for 2, didn't get it, 6-0.
All right, Dari, thank you very much. No gain here for Stephon Taylor. Kelby Brown makes the tackle for Duke. Now, Oregon picked 1st in the Pac-12 North this year, just ahead of Stanford. Brian.
Oregon's going to have their hands full when they go to play the Stanford Cardinals. That game is in middle of November, and this year the game is at Oregon. So it's going to be a little bit more of a test for them. It's the only game that Stanford lost last year, and they lost it handily. You got to think and believe that the Stanford Cardinal will be ready for that game this year.
9 straight wins for the Cardinal dating back to last year. The team's longest winning streak since 1951. 4:42 to go. Luck hit as he throws. It's incomplete. Intended for Griff Whalen, the senior receiver out of Sylvania, Ohio. DeWalt Ondijo really laid a hit on Luck.
Yeah, Ondijo came through off the edge. He's a defensive end. Just got a slip move underneath the tackle and was able to force an early throw. That ball errant from Andrew Luck and took a good shot right in the chops.
So Stanford will have to punt for the first time today. The veteran punter David Green comes out. And Lee Butler back to return, standing at his own 21-yard line for Duke. It's a good kick. Takes it inside the 10. Here comes Lee Butler. Trying to find a seam on the near side. Gets to the 24-yard line. Luck hasn't been hit too many times over the last year or so, but he took a pop here.
That's a way to send a message. A superstar comes into your house, put him on his back. Go back and look at the last play. Stanford's dealing with some youth on the offensive line. This is redshirt freshman David Yankee. He's got to be able to deal with some stunts. You're going to get stunts. And right here, Ondijo comes on a TE stunt, and Yankee's got to be able to pass that off. He's not able to get back on number 94, and that ends up being a hit on Andrew Luck. You got a superstar in Andrew Luck. You have to protect him. And these young players on the Stanford offensive line have got to learn and be better up front for them to compete in the Pac-12 this season.
This is the fastest Duke defense David Cutcliffe says he has had since he's been here. He hopes it results in more plays like that. Here's Renfrey back in the game. Sets up at the 15-yard line, going deep down the middle of the field. Has a man just off the fingertips of Braxton. He has great speed. He could be the next Connor Vernon on this Duke Blue Devils team. Almost a big play there, second down.
Yeah, I love the play action again. You'll see it from the left side of your screen. Just goes right past the safety. A well-thrown ball from Sean Renfrey. That ball has got to be caught by Braxton. A young player. He's got all kinds of ability. The coaches rave about him. And that's a play you got to make in big games like this.
Well, Kurt Roper is going every other play almost with Renfrey and Kennett. It's Kennett now, and his pass is tipped. Shane Scove got a hand on it, and it's incomplete for Kennett. Third down and 10 now for Duke.
That was a great play by Shane Scove. That play was going to be successful. The receiver was wide open. Scove from his weak side linebacker position, able to climb the ladder and get a hand on that football.
Renfrey and Kennett. And now it's Renfrey back in there at quarterback. And a little surprised with the quick changes here at quarterback?
No, I think they want to get Kennett the football. He's a great runner. He had 8 touchdowns a year ago, led this football team.
Renfrey to the outside, looking for the first down, but the pass is high. And it's incomplete to Tyree Watkins, the sophomore out of Camden, New Jersey, and the punting unit will come out for Duke.
I love the philosophy. I don't like the execution. Ball thrown high. Missed a drop pass on the last one to Braxton. I love the approach, trying to keep Stanford off balance, changing quarterbacks, moving the pocket, misdirection. There just needs to be a little bit more execution on the part of the Duke Blue Devils.
They're going to try whatever they can today. They have nothing to lose. Taking on the number 6 team here today. This is Alex King. Very patient before he boots it away. And it bounces at the 45-yard line. Takes a nice Duke roll. Still moving and dead at the 31. Now Mondays on ESPNU, Jesse Palmer and David Pollack provide an engaging and interactive look at the past week's college football action and set the scene for the upcoming week's big game. Strap yourself in for an entertaining, opinionated 3-hour college football forum at 1 and 9 Eastern every Monday on ESPNU. Palmer and Pollack. Well, David Shaw was the assistant to Jim Harbaugh the last 4 seasons. Helped the Cardinals set school scoring records each of the last 2 years. Has a great relationship with his star player,
I think it's a big reason why Andrew Luck came back this year. His comfort level with David Shaw.
Stephon Taylor takes it. Gets out of a tackle to the 40-yard line, and it's enough for a first down. Out to the 42, it's an 11-yard pickup for Stephon Taylor.
And that relationship, I think, was built out of a respect that's been going on the last 2 years. They've been, David Shaw and Andrew Luck, working together on a weekly basis as an offensive coordinator quarterback, and they're very comfortable with each other, and David Shaw knows that Andrew Luck is the best trigger man for his offense.
Taylor. And he's going to stay on his feet to the 48. Matt Daniels makes the tackle, a gain of 6. Let's go to the studio in Dari.
All right, I know Clay's a fan of Midwestern football. How about Iowa State? They play for the Cyhawk 2nd and goal, 3rd overtime. James White in, and Iowa State knocks off arch rival Iowa 44-41. Go get that trophy, yes.
That's right, Dari. That Cy Hawk Trophy, a big deal in that state. And it's Iowa State.
Huge for Paul Rhodes.
Coming away with that win, yeah.
He's done that to Nebraska before.
Yes, he has. 2nd down. Luck has time. Throws it down the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. Great defensive play in the secondary by Ross Cockrell. Started 12 games as a redshirt freshman last year, led the team with 3 INTs. This was well played.
Yeah, tremendous play by Cockrell. They wanted the deep ball to Uosu, and Ross Cockrell is the man-to-man corner for the Duke Blue Devils. Nice job of him looking back for the ball, number 1, not making contact with the receiver to get a penalty, and then getting in the swipe right as the ball landed. Ross Cockrell is a guy they can build a defense around, because when you take away half the field as a corner, you free up the defensive coordinator to do a lot of different things schematically against your offense.
A lot of pressure on this Duke secondary today. They come up big there. Now on 3rd down. Luck, incomplete. Griff Whalen tried to one-hand it to make that catch along that far sideline. Couldn't come up with it. Augie Campbell in on the coverage. And Duke defensively stands again as the punting unit walks on for Stanford.
That was a big play for the Duke defense to get a stop. Certainly you wanted to get a field goal in the last possession. You miss it. If you would have given up another touchdown on that drive and gone down 14-0, it would have been huge. Big stop by the Duke defense.
Butler to return this David Green punt. It's another booming kick, and it bounces inside the 5 and rolls into the end zone. Duke will have it at the 20. 52-yard punt for David Green. Some of the storylines from college football. How about RG3? Breakout star of week 1, 5 passing touchdowns for Baylor in that upset at TCU. Mark Richt, his pants are almost on fire. It's so hot down there in Athens. First night game at the Big House, your former college football home, Brian Griese.
That'll be a lot of fun.
You bet.
The first night game at Notre Dame was against Michigan. So it's apropos that the first night game of Michigan be against Notre Dame.
Renfrey back in there, hands off to Juwan Thompson on Duke's first down play here. They going to come up short of the line of scrimmage. In fact, it's a loss of 4. You think Bo Schembechler ever envisioned a night game at Michigan Stadium?
No, I don't. But, that stadium was built to fit. They could build it to be 150,000 fans. They could build it up. So there was a lot of foresight by the forefathers of Michigan history. Don't take away from those guys.
2nd down and 14 here for Duke. Jay Hollingsworth into the game at tailback for the first time, lined up to the left of Renfrey. Renfrey to throw. Complete at the 20-yard line. Much of a pickup there. Connor Vernon with the catch. Led the Blue Devils last week with 8 receptions for 78 yards. Picks up 5 here, but it's going to be a 3rd and fairly long situation.
Well, Duke's got to be able to complete short passes to be in this game. And they're not going to be able to stand back there, take 7-step drops, throw the ball deep down the field, because the pass rush is just too great from Stanford. They've got to be efficient. They've got to convert on 3rd downs like this situation right here.
They're 0 for 2 so far today on 3rd down. Renfrey out in the flat. Hollingsworth makes the catch, looking for running room afterwards. Gets it to the 25 and not much further. It's going to be well short of the first down as Chase Thomas, the linebacker, and the free safety Michael Thomas, no relation, combine on the stop.
This was a problem last week for Sean Renfrey. Stop it right there. You see the receiver is open downfield, and he decides to check the ball down too soon. Last week, I saw that a couple times on film. He had a conversion there on 3rd and 8. Didn't pull the trigger. He's been a little bit hesitant, and I think he's got to improve on that if they're going to compete in this game.
Last week threw for over 200 yards, but also had a costly fumble. He was knocked out cold on one play. It's been a tough early season for Renfrey so far, the Duke quarterback. And Stanford will have it at the 27-yard line. That's a 47-yard punt for Alex King.
We talked about that with Coach David Cutcliffe. You've got to be able to pull the trigger as a quarterback. You can't let all the extraneous things that are going on during the course of a game affect how you play. If you're going to get hit, you're going to get hit. You got to get back up and throw the ball where it's supposed to go. And right now, Sean Renfree has got to be more disciplined, going through his reads, throwing the ball down the field, and respecting the discipline of the play and getting the ball to the right receiver.
On the other side, Andrew Luck, opening drive that was very impressive. It led to a touchdown. The last two, Stanford has been forced to punt. They go to work here at the 27. It's a handoff to Stephon Taylor. Bounces off tacklers. He's got first down, yardage, and more. Kelby Brown finally brings down Taylor, but it's a gain of 15 yards for the Stanford running back.
Yeah, and Stephon Taylor is hard to bring down. You see Matt Daniels, number 40, right in the hole, the safety. We talked with him yesterday. He is a key part of this Duke defense. They're going to try to free him up in the hole. He's got to make the tackle.
Taylor again. And keeps those legs moving out across the 45 to the 46. He rushed for over 1,100 yards last year. Honorable mention, all Pac-10. He's a good running back, and it should be the last play of the first quarter.
He's a great back, not only on the ground, but out of the backfield, and they use him in all kinds of different sets.
So Duke is in this game with the number 6 team in the country. They've left some points out there. Andrew Luck with a touchdown pass this afternoon. It's 7-0.
Come.
Stanford 7, Duke nothing. Andrew Luck 5 for 8, 74 yards and a touchdown. He is college football's cover boy in 2011.
Do the most pull-ups or push-ups or squat the most. Pac-12 championship, that's definitely the main goal.
One of the things that makes him so good is his feet. His footwork is flawless. You see here on the last touchdown pass, the efficiency with which he uses his feet. You'll see the last step, his right foot goes in the ground, and the ball comes out almost immediately. There's no wasted motion right here. The foot goes in the ground, ball's ready for play. What that does is it doesn't allow defensive backs to break on the football as fast as they normally would. If you take a hitch there, it gives the defense time to react, and you don't complete as many passes.
You and I were talking with Pep Hamilton, a guy that actually coached you when you were in the NFL in Chicago, and he said that Andrew Luck and Pep will spend a lot of time watching the footwork of Drew Brees and other NFL quarterbacks, and Andrew Luck really works on his footwork constantly.
Not a bad guy to watch.
Jeremy Stewart checking into the game as the lone setback for Stanford. Luck, 5-step drop, looking to the right. Cocks his arm and fires, incomplete. Intended for a Wusu. Penalty flag comes out. This is going to be pass interference, most likely. Johnny Williams, the cornerback, kind of got in there a little early.
Well, the ball was a little bit underthrown, and Owusu fought back for the football, which may have drawn the penalty.
Pass interference. Defense, number 37, 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Johnny Williams is still learning how to play that position, too. He was a wide receiver his first 2 years here on the Duke campus.
Yeah, he's got plenty of speed, can run with wide receivers. But, you know, tomorrow when the Stanford Cardinals go back and watch the film, Andrew Luck will say to himself, that was not a good throw. That ball should have been thrown up the field where Owusu could run underneath it. Instead, it was short. Owusu did a nice job of fighting back and at least drawing the flag.
Great field position for Stanford. 1st and 10 at the Duke 39. Luck dumps it off. Gaffney. This is his first touch of this game. He's going to pick up a couple. 2nd down and 8 coming up. Let's go to the studio.
Guys, what an unbelievable inning. Auburn with a narrow escape against Utah State last week. Now up 7. Mississippi State closing seconds. Oh! Ryan Smith stuffs Chris Relf and Auburn. As time runs out, wins another nail-biter. They're 2-0. They've won 17 straight overall.
Gene Chizik and the Tigers are living right because last week was a close scare, and certainly Mississippi State bring everything today. Chris Owusu. And it's a first down for Stanford as they're moving it again to the 26-yard line. It's an 11-yard play.
I would not count out the Auburn Tigers. Everybody's talking about how they shouldn't be in it, but certainly they have a lot of fight left in them. Look at the footwork here from Andrew Luck. Again, the efficiency. You're not going to see a lot of wasted motion in this footwork from Andrew Luck. You see the wide base. That's what you're looking for because you're able to throw the ball quickly. And in the NFL, when Andrew gets to the NFL, he'll be ahead of a lot of other quarterbacks.
And penalty flag on the play.
False start. Offense, number 52. 5 yards, first down.
It's on David DeCastro, the right guard. First team All-Pac-10 last year. They think he could be a first or second round pick. There aren't a lot of mistakes that happen with the Stanford offense. There's one, and it brings them back.
There were a couple of things last week, Clay, that head coach David Shaw mentioned when we talked with him this week. Some mental errors, specifically some of the young offensive linemen up front. They've got two redshirt freshmen starting, the left guard and right tackle. So there's going to be some growing pains before they get into the Pac-10 schedule.
First and 15 at the 31. Luck to Owusu. Nice move and dives down to the 24-yard line. Augie Campbell making the tackle, a gain of 7 on that play. So second down and 8 coming up.
And one of the things about this offense, as you mentioned a little bit earlier in the broadcast, they like to spread the ball around. 7 receivers caught passes last week for the Cardinal against San Jose State. And what that does is it's very hard for defenses to key in on any one player. You can't key in on Fleener, the tight end. Can't key in on Owusu. As soon as you do that, you're going to get Stephon Taylor catching the ball in the backfield. Very difficult to defend.
Luck to Taylor. And he's going to stumble forward for a couple of yards. It's going to bring up third down and 6 as Walt Canty made a good tackle on the 5'11", 210-pound back.
I got to give some credit to the Duke defensive line. They have not been getting pushed off the ball by the Stanford Cardinal team. They've done a nice job controlling the line of scrimmage. Brings up a big 3rd and 7 here. They got to get some pass rush and some pressure on Andrew Luck if they want to convert this third down.
Stanford wasn't real pleased with their third downs last week. 5 of 13. They're 1 of 3 today.
Man coverage.
Luck out of the gun. Has time. Over the middle. Behind the intended receiver. Incomplete. Trying to get the tight end, Zach Ertz. And now decision time here for Stanford.
Well, he had the tight end. He had him wide open. It was man-to-man coverage. They brought a blitz. Duke decided to come with some pressure. You're going to see Ertz runs a slant route. The ball's thrown behind him. It's an inaccurate throw from Andrew Luck. As he looks at that film, as that ball's out in front, that could be a touchdown. It's the little things that Andrew Luck, I think, works on so hard throughout the offseason, but that one got away from him.
Going to go for a field goal here, a 40-yard kick for Jordan Williamson. And it is good. 12:01 to go, and Stanford adds 3 more. It's 10-0 here in Durham.
The ball is placed on the 40-yard line.
ESPNU College Football All-State Game of the Week. Brought to you by AutoZone. Parts are just part of what we do. Get in the zone, AutoZone. 12:01 to go before halftime. 10-0 Stanford. That Duke defense keeping the Cardinal to a field goal.
Yeah, and you see David Shaw talking with Andrew Luck there. Let's go back to the last play. You see he looks to the left, wants to throw. Nobody open, so he comes back. Freezer right there. You see there's somebody in the lane that he wants to throw the ball to Ertz, but there's also somebody bearing down on him, and I think that's what affected the accuracy of that throw. Normally that's an easy throw for Andrew Luck, but I think the combination of those two things caused the inaccurate throw, and that's a tough hit to take. You get your hand caught in between the face mask, that's a tough hit right there. That does not feel good. I know from experience.
I'm impressed with this Duke defense, Brian. I mean, this is a defense that gave up 450 yards per game last year. It was last in the ACC, 108th in the nation, and they're facing the best player in the college game today. And they're not being embarrassed thus far, that's for sure.
They just need a little help on offense now.
And they're going to start at the 20 as Jamison Crowder takes a knee. A touchback. Pretty good game coming up tonight on ESPNU Primetime College Football, presented by 5 Hour Energy. New Mexico in Fayetteville to take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. They're ranked number 14 this week. It's going to come your way at 7 Eastern tonight. That's the only nationally televised game involving an SEC program tonight, so tune in.
It's a big drive for the Duke Blue Devils. Their defense is holding up their end of the bargain. Now offensively, they've moved the ball, missed the 1 field goal. This could be only a 7-point game. Sean Renfree's got to start pulling the trigger.
Renfree to start this series. We've seen Connett too. He is complete on first down, and it's a first down play for Crowder. Boy, he has some speed after the catch and picks up 13.
The key to the slip screens are blocking downfield. You see the offensive line get out on the second level. 77, Tomlinson gets a great block on the outside to seal that. Good effort. Just a redshirt freshman. He is a load blocking in the run game, but as a young player, just needs to get his assignments down, and he could be a great player.
1st and 10 from the 33. They pitch it back. And Juwan Thompson gets ahead for a couple of yards. Thompson was listed as probable this week with a leg injury. More specifically a knee, but he's gutting it out and hoping to get something out of this Duke running game. But primarily, the way they've been moving the ball the last season or so has been through the air.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the quarterback when you operate in that fashion. They did run the ball well last week in the second half against Richmond, but this is a different team, the Stanford defense.
Crowder lined up to the near side. Renfree wants to throw, feels the heat, and goes down at the 26. Terrence Stevens, the nose tackle, comes in to make the hit. It's a loss of 9. Stevens is the guy that is taking over for Sione Fua.
Yeah, you're just going to see Shane Scove come through from a linebacker position, unaccounted for in the protection, and Tomlinson tries to get a hand on him, but that pocket closed so fast that Sean Renfree had nowhere to go with the football.
Fua, 3rd-round pick by the Carolina Panthers. And Scove, like we said, he seems to be always around the ball, just loves contact. 3rd and 16. Renfree, delayed handoff to Thompson. Knifes it right up the middle, gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line, and a penalty marker is on the field.
Looks like they may have picked up that flag, and it will be 4th down.
Yep.
Conservative call from David Cutcliffe, and I agree with it. Backed up in your own end zone, 3rd and long, where you struggle to block this defensive line for Stanford. They're bringing twists, they're bringing blitzes. You've got young offensive linemen up front. You don't want to turn this 10-point game into a 17-point game in a hurry.
Alex King, the punter, former high school quarterback. You always have to be wary that he could throw it. Drew Terrell out there, and there is the pass. It is caught at the 35, enough for a first down and more. Jay Hollingsworth on the fake, and Duke has it 1st and 10 in Stanford territory.
And you're going to be a head coach someday. Calling it out just before the fake punt. Wow.
Blind squirrel.
You're going to see he's just going to roll to the side, and as you said, a high school quarterback, just a simple flare route. Good blocking on the outside, and David Cutcliffe mentioned yesterday, we're going to pull out all the stops. We got nothing to lose. I want my guys to come out, take their best shot at Stanford, and see where they fall. And what a great call on 4th down and long.
On 1st down, a play fake. Renfree, time to throw. It's Thompson. And he'll get to the 35. A good play on 1st down. Give him 8. 2nd and 2.
One of the things I think is the most important when you have a change of possession play like that, a momentum changing play like that, is that you don't waste it. You've got to go and capitalize on it. Stay aggressive in your play call. I like that play call, throwing the football on 1st down, but Duke has to capitalize on this drive.
And now Kurt Roper sends Brandon Connett back on the field at quarterback. And he is a great runner. Tries to get the edge, can't do it. Pulled down at the 38 by Scove. It's a loss of 3 on that play.
I think Brandon Cannett thought that he might be able to fool Shane Scove, but Scove was going to have nothing to do with it. Scove led the team in tackles last year with 84. One of the most sure-handed tacklers that you're going to see in college football, and he's going to have a great future at the next level.
He's been working on his hands and his footwork because he just likes to out-muscle people most of the time. They're working on those skills. There's the handoff to Thompson, straight ahead. And it's going to bring up 4th down, short of the 1st down. Alex Debniak making that tackle.
Oh, and Thompson went down awkwardly. Looks like his knee got caught underneath him. That's the last thing that David Cutcliffe and the Blue Devils want to see. Already lost their starter, Desmond Scott. Had some other injuries, and that would be brutal. But going for it on 4th down, I like this. Like I said, you got to take advantage of that fake punt.
From the 38, penalty flag. And a false start by Perry Simmons.
False start. Offense, number 72, 5 yards, 4th down.
That's a killer. That's a killer. Perry Simmons. You know, he played last year as a true freshman, and those are the kind of things that really drove David Cutcliffe crazy last week. They had a 3rd down opportunity last week, and their left tackle jumped off sides against Richmond and played a big part in them losing that ball game. But David Cutcliffe's going to still go for it on 4th and 9.
Renfrey. Complete. Caught at the 35, and it's a 1st down. Down to the 30-yard line, Donovan Varner. One of the killer V's for Duke, and they'll move the sticks.
Donovan Varner's caught more footballs than any other player in the last 2 years for this team, and he's quick on the inside. Look at his feet. Great route, great patience. He's fast enough to run away from defenders, but also quick enough to find the holes on the inside in the slot. Great throw and catch.
Under 7 minutes to go before half, and Duke moving the football. Renfrey gives it to Thompson, and he'll pick up a couple. 2nd down and 8 coming up. Well, David Cutcliffe rolling the dice a time or two here on this series, and it's paid off so far for the Blue Devils, Brian.
Well, you know, I think last week was such a hard week, and losing to Richmond, he really felt he had the best team that he's had here at Duke coming into this season, and it was such a deflating loss. They needed to come out and get some momentum in the first half of this game. They played well defensively, and now a couple of calls have given them a little bit of momentum on offense.
11th play of the drive coming up. 2nd down and 8 at the Stanford 28. Renfrey has hit his last 5 passes. Won't get a chance to complete this one. He is stuffed by Ben Gardner, the defensive end. It's a sack and a loss of 7.
This is what's hard about sitting in the pocket, drop back. It's hard because it's hard to block these defensive tackles. 3 techniques and defensive ends for Stanford. That time again, the young right guard, Laken Tomlinson, just got beat by Gardner, and there was nowhere for Renfrey to go.
Duke has not completed a 3rd down conversion yet today. Renfrey ducks under a tackle and gets it ahead. It's going to bring up 4th down and long. A run of 8 yards for Renfrey. He was running for his life.
That's a big play, though. Honestly, that's a big play. Went from being a sack by the 42-yard line to now Renfrey making a positive play to the 28 and giving his coach an opportunity to go for it on 4th down or attempt a field goal. It's only a 10-point game. That was a big play by Sean Renfrey. Give him credit.
And they're going to go for it. Will Snyderwine has missed 3 field goals this year, including one today from 27 yards, and that's probably the biggest reason that David Cutcliffe is going for it here.
He's missed all 3 field goals this year, and 2 of them inside of 28 yards. So I'd go for it on 4th down, too.
Timeout Duke with 4:44 to go before half. 10-0 Stanford. Duke head coach David Cutcliffe holding his breath as he sends Will Snyderwine out to attempt a 45-yard field goal. He is 0 for 3 this season, including a miss today.
I think Coach Cutcliffe really wanted to go for it there on 4th and 6 or 7. Otherwise, he wouldn't have called a timeout. I don't think you want to call a timeout and then have Snyderwine come out and think about this kick for a number of minutes. So we'll see what happens.
It's been a nice drive, 12 plays. They to come up with some points, get on the board. Out of the hold of Alex King, the kick is up, and no good again. He pushed it. He's in a slump. And David Cutcliffe doesn't know what he's going to do. He doesn't really have any other options behind Schneiderwine. Duke stays scoreless. It's 10-0. Will Schneiderwine, a 50-year senior kicker for Duke, was an All-American last year, set a Duke record with 21 made field goals, but he is 0 for 4 this year.
Coach Cutt has him on his couch there, counseling him a little bit. Duke should be in this football game. They should be down 4 points. You look, it's pretty even when you look at the game trends and the stats. Duke hasn't been able to rush the football, but they're in this football game.
There are many teams that hang with Stanford in time of possession, and Duke is beating Stanford in time of possession, but not getting any points on the board. Deep down the middle of the field, looking for Owusu is Luck. He overthrew him. Again, there's some pressure from that Duke front on Andrew Luck.
Yeah, Andrew Luck changed the play at the line of scrimmage, saw what he liked. He had Owusu wide open downfield, but again, a free rusher comes right up the middle, and Andrew Luck doesn't have time to set his feet like he would like. Forces an inaccurate throw. That was Kelby Brown that came through from the linebacker position.
I was real impressed with the Duke defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles. He was on Cutcliffe's staff at Ole Miss. When we talked to him yesterday, he said, we've got a lot of things in mind to get heat on Andrew Luck, and I think they're doing a pretty good job so far.
Oh, great job.
Here's a handoff to Taylor. He takes it straight ahead. It's going to be a minimal gain, so 3rd and long coming up as the clock is under 4.5 to go before halftime.
Not only that, but they're playing with passion. You see Curtis Hazelton there. That's what you need to do. When you come in to your own stadium as an underdog to the number 6 ranked team in the nation, you've got to play with some passion, and you've got to play great defense, and that's what they've done. Stanford's run the ball a little bit, but not anywhere near what they're used to doing. They're getting pressure on Andrew Luck. Those two things are the recipe for success for Stanford on for Duke on defense, and they're doing it well.
Luck started 5 for 5 today. He's 3 for his last 8 passing the football. On 3rd and 9, looking to throw. Again, gets a little pressure, throws it to the near side. Having to come back for the football is Whalen, and he makes the catch, enough for a first down. Good job by Whalen to know where the first down marker was.
Great catch by Whalen. Great job of holding in there by Andrew Luck. Again, Duke decides to come with pressure up the middle and off the edge, and Andrew Luck had to give ground, wait for Whalen to get out of his cut before he threw that football and give him a chance to convert on 3rd down.
They get it out to the 39-yard line. First down and 10 as Taylor is the back behind Luck. Send the tight end, Fleener, in motion. Play fake, Luck to throw. Has a man, it's Zach Ertz. Catches it at the 40-yard line. Matt Daniels, the safety, got beat on that play. It's a 21-yard completion to the tight end.
Zach Ertz, when I went out and visited Stanford a couple of weeks ago, he was the most impressive tight end to me. He runs routes like a wide receiver. He's very fluid, catches the ball great. He's a guy that's going to be reckoned with this season.
They'll run it again. And on first down, Taylor is upended by Daniels, who stepped up to fill the hole. There's Daniels, who had a school record with 6 pass breakups last week. He is the leader of that defense.
He's the guy who makes all the checks in the secondary. He's got to get his guys lined up. So many shifts and motions from Stanford. We talked with Matt Daniels. Really a long week for him in preparation, trying to figure out what Andrew Luck and this offense are going to do. But he's playing the chess match with Andrew Luck early in this game.
2:37 to go before halftime. Luck steps up in the pocket, releases, and throws toward the end zone, just out of the reach of Corey Gatewood. 50-year senior receiver. Johnny Williams was trying to keep up. If the pass had been there, that might have been a touchdown.
Well, we've seen now a couple of times Andrew Luck early in this game, a little bit inaccurate, especially on the longer throws. Another play action. They try to get Ertz on the corner route on the last play. Now Gatewood's wide open, and that ball just thrown too far upfield. When you're running a corner route as a quarterback, you've got to throw that ball on the sideline to allow your receiver to adjust back to it. That's where you err with that throw, not up the field. Andrew, love to have that one back.
Luck got the play from Sam Schwartzstein, the center, off of his wristband. And on third down. Tipped and intercepted. Intercepted by Lee Butler, and he could go all the way. Touchdown, Duke. Penalty flag on the play. A 77-yard return. There is a marker down, and it looks like it's going to be a holding call.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the offense. Number 73. The penalty will be administered on the kickoff. Touchdown.
The touchdown stands. Big play for Duke. With 2:14 to go before half. And now Snyderwine, who's missed the field goal attempts, comes on for the extra point. He has never missed one of those in his career. And it's 10-7.
Two momentum-changing plays, the fake punt and now the interception return. The ball just thrown on the outside. Good man-to-man coverage, forced the deflection, and Lee Butler just the beneficiary. And a big play getting into the end zone for the Duke Blue Devils. This is what they needed to get him back into this football game.
Dari Noke in studio. Coming up at the half, Auburn and Mississippi State, a tremendous game and a fantastic finish. Also, Ohio State, you want hands full. How about Toledo giving it to the Buckeyes? We'll show you what happened there. Also, Alabama and Penn State. We will update what's going on in Happy Valley. All that coming up at the half of this suddenly very interesting game, guys.
Can you at least be a little objective, Brian? Dari, you should have seen the fist pump when you said that Ohio State was down from Greasy over here.
Hey, I've taken my fair share of lumps the last 3 years, so I'm entitled.
Snyderwine. Duke has it. A surprise onside kick. Duke football at the 39-yard line. Walt Canty recovers for the Blue Devils. David Cutcliffe pulling out all the stops here in the first half.
This is a brilliant call by David Cutcliffe. When you least expect it, you pull the bag of tricks out. It's executed perfectly. I love the momentum. Build on the momentum. You have a great play on defense. You execute this perfectly. Braxton able to corral that football. Not only that, but think of what that does for Snyderwine, your kicker.
Yeah.
He's missed 2 kicks, and now he's contributed positively to the game. That might be what he needs to get back on track.
It very easily could be 13-10 right now because of the 2 misses. My Snyderwine.
The previous play is under review.
As we're going to take another look at that one.
He's going to be charged to Stanford.
But as it happens, if this does stand, Duke can have the lead going into the half.
Well, this ball has to travel 10 yards. Remember, the ball was kicked from the 45, and that is very close. I agree with them reviewing that, but that ball has to travel 10 yards before the kicking team touches it. It was kicked off from the 45 because of the personal foul penalty on the touchdown.
Now the play was called in Duke's favor. First down and 10 at the 40-yard line. They say it's Duke's ball down on the field. There has to be enough evidence on the video to overturn it from upstairs. That's what they're looking at right now. If there's enough video evidence to overturn the call on the field.
Yeah, it's very important what the call on the field was because, as you said, there's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn that call. And judging from the look that we had, it was very close. I'm not sure that there's enough evidence.
We talked about the great year that Snyderwine had a season ago, an All-American, 21 field goals made, and Duke recovered 3 of his onside kicks a year ago, and here's a beautiful play.
Again, we've got a great look at it right down the 45-yard line. Ball's not touched on the ground. Braxton is the first one to touch it. That ball is right on the line. I am not sure if there's enough evidence to overturn that.
I agree with you. What a break for Duke. And they could have the lead going into the locker room if they can put a drive together here. They've got great field position if it stands. Our referee today is David Epperly. It's a ACC officiating crew here in Durham. An interception thrown by Andrew Luck, a 77-yard interception return before that kickoff. The points on the board for Duke, and now they're trying to...
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Duke 1st and 10.
They get a break here.
David Cutcliffe's been a head coach a long time at Ole Miss, now at Duke. He understands momentum and the power of momentum. And when you're an underdog at home, you've got to get it in your favor. Love that call. Love the way he's coached this entire first half.
From the 39. Renfrey pumps and goes down. Second down and long coming up. Let's go down to Allison.
Guys, even before Lee Butler picked off that pass and returned it for the 6 points, this Duke sideline had a lot more energy than the Stanford sideline. After that pick six, they absolutely erupted, dancing, high-fiving, smiling, jumping around, and it hasn't stopped since.
Thank you, Allison. It's got to feel good down there, especially after the loss to Richmond. Just the fact that they're playing well. After the sack by Thomas, Renfrey comes up to throw, and it's incomplete, intended for Juwan Thompson out of the backfield. So now 3rd down and 17. As the clock stops with 1:38 to go.
First down, they tried to go for the home run down the field. They had a slip screen. They pumped it, and there wasn't anybody open, and Renfrey had to eat it. That time, he just missed Juwan Thompson. It was a busted coverage by the Stanford Cardinal, and Renfrey's got to stand in there and throw the ball under pressure if you're going to beat the blitz.
Duke go for 6 on 3rd downs today, but they're 2 for 2 on 4th downs. High snap to Renfrey. Oh, and he's hit hard. Thomas again, his 2nd sack in 3 plays. And now a timeout by Stanford.
Aggressive defense. This defense plays a 3-4. They're going to come after you, and they want to get to the quarterback. They smell blood in the water, and Chase Thomas is a guy that can get around any offensive tackle to get to the quarterback.
That's the 4th Stanford sack today. Renfrey is shaken up a little bit. Monday afternoon, ESPNU debuts Final Verdict as Lou Holtz and a variety of contributors will be casting judgments on the weekend's hot topics in college football. Final Verdict on ESPNU Monday at 4:30 Eastern. I wonder if they'll be judging on how David Cutcliffe has coached this first half. It's sure been interesting. There have been many gambles in this first half.
Many gambles. The fake punt to start. Good throw, good execution. It's one thing to call one of these plays. It's another thing to execute them the right way. And then they've had great execution in each one of these instances. And that's really what's kept them in this ball game, only down 3 to the Stanford Cardinal. But the problem now with Duke, the Achilles heel in the first half, has been offensively protecting the quarterback and getting rid of the football. Sean Renfrey has got to accelerate the clock in his head, get rid of the football. You can't sit back there and let this team rush you.
Alex King, plenty of time to punt. It is not a good kick. Off the side of his foot. We'll see where they mark it. The 41-yard line. Just a 14-yard punt for Alex King, the second-year punter for Duke. And that's going to make David Cutcliffe's stomach turn. The special teams have been both good and bad at times in this first half.
Well, and special teams coordinator Ron Middleton has got to be pulling his hair out. This is between the kicking and punting, it's just been atrocious. And this is what they call a shank, ladies and gentlemen. This is right off the side of the foot. And that's concentration. That's concentration on the part of your punter.
Jeremy Stewart in the game, a tailback for Stanford. 4th stringer, thrown by Luck. And did he catch it at the 40? You bet he did. Nice catch by Zach Ertz. adjusting to that ball for a 19-yard pickup and a Stanford first down at the 40 of Duke.
And that's what I saw time and again from Zach Ertz when I went to practice. He catches everything. Very fluid athlete. He's going to be a star.
Luck again to throw. This is Owusu, the wide receiver. Nice move after the catch. Dives inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 after the 16-yard reception.
And you can just feel the momentum. That was the one shot for Duke. You know, Andrew Luck was upset on the sideline. That interception return for you knew they were going to come out and go after this Duke defense.
Luck backpedaling. Dumps it off short. This is Jeremy Stewart. And he gets it to the 10. Another Stanford first down. They are moving the football in the red zone. 44 seconds to go before halftime.
And make no mistake, Stanford wants a touchdown. They're not thinking about anything other than touchdown.
David Shaw, the timeout called for.
That's an interesting timeout taken by David Shaw. You got 3 plays there, 10+ yards, big chunks. You got the Duke defense on their heels. Interesting timeout. Had a first down there, and you could have clocked that ball if you wanted to stop the clock. But certainly he wants to keep his downs because of on the 10-yard line. He wants all 4 downs, opportunity to get this ball in the end zone. That's why he took that timeout.
Andrew Luck threw that interception on the last Stanford series. Now, in his defense, it was tipped, but this is how Andrew Luck is. I mean, he is one of the toughest players in college football besides the most talented. Mentally tough. Look at this drive he's put together after that interception throw.
You're going to have adversity. I mean, football is about how you react to adversity. And after he threw that interception, he was on the sideline talking to his offensive line, talking to his offense about, listen, that's on me. We come back. Next time we get that ball, nothing stops us. And that's what you're seeing right here.
On this drive, he is 3 for 3 through the air, 48 yards. First down and goal from the 10. Play clock under 10. Luck, quick release out to Owusu. Nice move to the end zone. Touchdown. Beautiful run after the catch for Chris Owusu. And Stanford regains the momentum with a beautiful touchdown drive.
There's going to be times during this season for the Cardinal that they're going to have adversity. They're going to have turnovers. They're going to have negative plays. They're going to have things happen to them, and it's how you react. And they'll learn from this situation. Trust me.
Jordan Williamson on for the extra point. And it is 17-7 Stanford. They are now 10 for 10 in the red zone this season.
They want to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, and Chris Owusu is one of their best playmakers. Great kick-out block by John Martin, the left tackle, and the rest is easy for Owusu to get into the end zone. Here comes Jonathan Martin. He's the all Pac-12 offensive tackle from a year ago. Just a little bit. He gets canty just enough. That allows Owusu to get up inside, and then there's, as they say, a sidewalk on the numbers. That's where you want to stay on a slip screen. That's where your blockers are, and Owusu does a nice job finding pay dirt.
They have an embarrassment of riches. I mean, you talk about the tight ends, you talk about Taylor out of the backfield, of course, Luck, but then a guy like Owusu in the receiving corps. He had 7 catches last week and a 59-yard kickoff return. He also had a red zone drop that he wanted to atone for this week, and he does there with the touchdown grab. You see Luck's numbers on that series.
You may get him every now and then, but you're not going to keep him down long. That's for sure.
No, you're not. Williamson. Good kick. This is Jamison Crowder from the 3-yard line. And with about a half minute to go before halftime, Duke will have it at the 23-yard line. Now, what does David Cutcliffe have up his sleeve here with the final half minute to go before the break?
Well, that was a statement drive by the Cardinal, because if you're Duke, you've pulled most of your tricks out of your bag. You've had a fake punt, you've had an onside kick, you've had a turnover score, and I don't know that there's a whole lot left in the bag of tricks. This is just going to be them trying to run out the clock, in my opinion, and get into the locker room.
We've seen Brandon Cannett out there at quarterback in this first half. It's Renfree to start this series. Inside handoff to Juwan Thompson. Finds some running room. He's got a first down and more. Out to the 37-yard line. Nice run on first down. Stop the clock to move the chains.
Yeah, you got to get up on the ball. You have a good run on first down. You get in position. You only need about 25 more yards to attempt a field goal. You got to get going.
First and 10 from the 36 of Duke. Renfree quickly releases to Helfet, the tight end.
Timeout.
And a timeout called for as he gets to the 46. Scove on the tackle. It's close to another Duke first down. 15 seconds to go.
Duke has one timeout remaining, 15 seconds, as you said. They've got to get this ball in and around the 32, 35-yard line to attempt a field goal. You got 2 plays to get there, really. You can throw the ball in the middle of the field because you have that timeout. So really the entire field is open and needs to be defended by the Stanford Cardinal.
David Cutcliffe, his progress for this program has been slow. 5-7 in 2009, but back to 3-9 last year. The last bowl appearance for this program, the 94 Hall of Fame Bowl. Bowl eligibility, the ultimate goal for David Cutcliffe with this Duke program. They got a ways to go, but certainly an upset here today of the number 6 team in the country would do wonders for his program. They've played pretty well here in the first half. Second down and 2 from the 46-yard line. Renfree steps up over the middle, has a man. It's caught by Vernon. 9 seconds to go. They'll have to stop the clock to move the chains again.
Get up and clock it.
And there's Cutcliffe to use his last time out. 8 seconds to go, and they're already in field goal range of Snyderwine.
Oh, this is the, we said get to the 32-yard line. They're on the 31. So, yeah, they certainly can attempt this field goal, and I think that's the direction that we're going to go. I don't know if it's going to be Snyderwine, but they're going to attempt a field goal nonetheless.
Here are the misses for Snyderwine.
And the thing that's so amazing about what's happened to Snyderwine is last year, he completed 82% of his field goals he made. I mean, he was fantastic a year ago, and it just goes to show you how much confidence and how much psyche can play into the kicking game and kickers in general.
Jeffrey Lias is going to come on to attempt a 49-yard field goal with 8 seconds to go here before halftime. The All-American stays on the sideline. And he's not going to get the kick off. Stanford calling a timeout to ice the kicker.
Stanford, their final charge timeout of the half, 30-second timeout.
There's a certain protocol to calling the timeout before the kicker attempts at the end of a game or at halftime. You've got to call the timeout before the ball snapped. You can't let him snap the ball because that just gave him a little bit of time, an attempt, a practice shot, a chip shot, if you will. Now he's calibrated. You've got to call the timeout before they snap it for it to have an effect.
They've done well with time of possession. They have had some long, sustained drives, but 2 of them ended up in missed field goals, those 2 in particular.
David Shaw's a young head coach, so he'll get that figured out where he calls that timeout early enough. Proper icing technique. There should be a book written about that.
Try it again here from 49. And this one is no good. And it's missing badly this time. It's been a bad day for the kickers. And David Cutcliffe scratching his head when it comes to the kicking game. That had been one of the bright spots coming into this year for the Duke Blue Devils. They still have not made a field goal in 2011.
Well, I think it's important. You know, Will Snyderwine we're looking at right there. He wasn't very highly recruited. He wasn't recruited at all. He was a normal, everyday student at Duke that said, you know, I think I'm going to go try out for the football team. And he came out, and Coach Cutcliffe said, this guy's got a huge leg. And so he hasn't been in a lot of these situations before, and he's got to learn from it and grow.
Well, Andrew Luck has had better halves, that's for sure, but his team does have the lead by 10 going into the locker room. 14 for 21, 185. A couple of touchdown passes, did throw the pick. It was tipped before the interception. And Renfrey, he's over 100 yards passing, but they have not been able to get points on the board on nice drives, and that's something that's plagued them this half.
Well, really, Renfrey has not pulled the trigger on a lot of plays. I think those numbers don't represent kind of the opportunity that he had to make plays in this game. And you're not going to win this game just throwing the ball, dinking and dunking. You've got to take some shots down the field, and Sean Renfrey's going to need to do that in the second half.
Let's go down to Allison Williams.
Thank you, guys. Coach Shaw, your offense put together a nice drive that they capped off with a touchdown to end the half. But prior to that, some struggles offensively. Why?
That's a great question. We thought plays were there. We should have made a couple of plays. We had our hands on a couple of balls. We're running the ball well. We haven't broken out a big run yet, but we're being efficient with the run. But you know what? It's not up to our standard. We got to play better.
What are your thoughts on Andrew Luck's performance in the first half?
Hey, so far so good. But it's the reason why they make them 60 minutes and not 30.
Defensively, you've kept them off the board, but they have put together some good drives. Any adjustment you'll make in the second half?
We try to keep them out of the end zone. That's it.
All right, thanks, Coach. Guys.
All right, Allison, thank you very much. David Shaw heading to the locker room. His team up 17-7. Look at the last touchdown that gave him a little momentum before half. Owusu taking it in. Stanford 17, Duke 7.
Welcome to the All-State Game of the Week on ESPNU.
Welcome back to Durham and the ACC Game of the Week on ESPN. ACC Game of the Week presented by Allstate. And it is 17-7 Duke in this game with number 6 Stanford. Hi again, everybody. And alongside Brian Greasy, I'm Clay Matvick. Duke, 3 missed field goals away from probably leading this game at the half, and that Duke defense has played very well against Andrew Luck.
They have played very well. They held Stanford to 68 yards rushing, which is unheard of in the first half. Also got good pressure, hit Andrew Luck numerous amount of times. They've got to get something going on offense. Can't rely on field goals.
Duke's going to start with the football here in the second half, and they're going to have good field position. It's kicked out of bounds. Let's go down to Allison Williams.
Guys, I talked to head coach David Cutcliffe coming out of the half, and he knows how close his team is to being in the lead right now. The kicking game has obviously hurt them. Some updates there. Will Snyderwine is out for the game with a foot injury. He also said offensively they need to do a better job of protecting the quarterback. On defense, they have to limit the big plays. He said, we can hang with these guys. We just have to stop giving up the big plays. He told his team at the half, look, you're playing the number 6 team in the country. You are capable of hanging with these guys. He said, we always get beat in the third and the fourth quarter, but you know what? We've got depth. We've got enough guys on the sideline to win this game. Clay?
All right, Allison, thank you very much. It appears that David Cutcliffe is left with Jeffrey Eas as his only option at kicker now. And he missed his only field goal attempt in that first half badly.
It'll be interesting to see. I assume that they will be going for a lot more fourth downs in the second half.
So 1st and 10 from the 40 after the penalty. Renfrey rolling out to the near side, throws it downfield, and that is nearly picked off in the secondary. Delano Howell, the strong safety, second team all Pac-10 last year when he had 5 interceptions. Almost had 1 there.
Well, and you see the stats in the lineup. It really 68 yards rushing. Great job by Duke defensively, and they forced a turnover for a touchdown. So they are holding up their end of the bargain. Now on offense, Sean Renfrey's got to be able to come out and make some plays, get some points on the board.
Duke quarterback sacked 4 times in that first half by Stanford. Renfrey comes underneath, has Donovan Varner for a Duke first down. Out across midfield to the 48 of Stanford. It's a 12-yard pickup. Howell again on the tackle.
And good, quick decisions, quick throws. They can't sit back in the pocket, take 7-step drops with Sean Renfrey and expect to block the defensive line for Stanford. Stay in the gun, get the ball out of your hand quickly, and get it in the hands of your playmakers, Varner and Werner.
Duke in plus territory. First drive of the second half. Renfrey. The crossing route to the tight end, Helfet. Just a couple of yards as Lancaster, the middle linebacker, makes the stop.
Same route the other direction. Small, short crossing routes. Get the ball in the receiver's hands. That's going to work initially until Stanford makes their adjustments. You got to be careful with those crossing routes. If you get zone dropping linebackers or defensive end dropping, that's how you stop the crossing routes. You got to be aware of those.
Second down and 8. Renfrey, time to throw. That ball may have been tipped. Intended for Connor Vernon. Incomplete. It's going to bring up third down and 8 for Duke.
I don't think that ball was tipped. I just think that was good defense by Shane Scove, the linebacker on the back end. He read the eyes of the quarterback. You see him right here, number 11 in the middle of your screen. He knows this route, reads the route, and plays the wide receiver. There's nowhere for that ball to go for Sean Renfrey.
Duke has yet to convert a third down today. They're 0 for 7. Vernon and Varner both on the field. Renfrey gets it in the hands of Vernon. Penalty flag down. Batamosi, the right cornerback for Stanford, may be called here for the pass interference. It's a Duke first down. 29-yard line.
A great play by both the wide receiver and quarterback. Renfrey took a huge hit.
Pass interference. Defense number 27. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Stand in there and deliver. That's a big hit and an accurate throw. Great job by Vernon. Good route on the outside. Gets back inside and good hands. Vernon caught 73 balls a year ago for the Blue Devils. That led the ACC.
First and 10 from the 29. They go back to the ground. Not much on the ground during the first half. Just 17 rushing yards. They'll pick up 3 to bring up second down and 7 for Duke.
Well, in the rushing attack for the Blue Devils, I think David Cutcliffe is just going to be content swinging the ball, throwing short passes. That will be their running game because they can't match the physical nature of the defensive line for Stanford on a consistent basis enough to run the football in between the tackles.
5 pass plays, 1 run for Duke on this drive. That run by Thompson sets up second down and 7. Renfrey again throws. Hit as he makes the catch. Connor Vernon. It's Jarek Lancaster coming in to make the pop. It's a 3-yard reception for Vernon. You know, these receivers for Duke are not very big, but they are tough and fearless over the middle.
Very tough. Both Vernon and Donovan Varner. Varner's only 5'9", 175 pounds, but he is a tough player. Here's a situation, if I'm a quarterback, use your snap count. 3rd and 4, maybe you get a cheap first down.
It is complete. It's Helfet, the tight end. I tell you what, Duke has used the tight ends effectively at times too. Certainly Stanford's been doing that, but that's a 5-yard reception and a first down for Helfet.
Stanford's chipping away. As it looks like Shane Scove got shaken up on the play. He's still down on the field, but
yeah, it is Shane Scove, the junior linebacker from Piedmont, California. The team's top tackler, probably the top overall defensive player. And he's being attended to down on the field.
he made the tackle, and then Helfet rolled over on top of him. Looked like he started to get up. I'm not sure what happened there with Shane Scove.
About 85 degrees at game time. It's real hot down on the field. Who knows? It could be a factor down there for Shane Scove, but he's up on his feet.
It's good to see him up, but this drive initially is a big drive for Duke on offense, and they've started to chip away, take what the defense gave you. That was probably the mantra at halftime from David Cutcliffe. Look, we're not going to be able to stand back there and throw the ball deep down the field and take 2 hitches and everything lay out the way we want. We got to get rid of the football, which you've seen Sean Renfrey do. You've got to catch the ball, get as much as you can, and make sure we stay in manageable situations, especially on 3rd down. And this drive is indicative of that. 5 out of 7. Not for a whole lot of yards, only 39 yards, but first downs are key.
And he's converted a couple of times on third down, which they didn't do at all in the first half. Deep handoff here to Thompson. And gets it to the 15-yard line. So 2nd down and 7. Coming up as Brandon Connett comes back on the field at quarterback for Duke.
And what Connett gives you in the red zone is the ability to run the ball. He's 6'2", 225 pounds. Offensive coordinator Kurt Roper mentioned his name and the same name, kind of a Tim Tebow style of quarterback. Run the football, throw it a little bit, but in the red zone, you need guys like this.
The running play. Thompson again trying to muscle his way toward the first down. A couple of yards short. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 3 as A.J. Tarpley, a linebacker from Plymouth, Minnesota, makes the stop.
And if you're David Cutcliffe, I think in this instance, this is 4-down territory for
yes,
3rd and 3. I mean, with the kicking situation, It goes without saying.
Duke 0 for 1 in the red zone today. It's Connett trying to cut it back up. There is nothing there. He is met by a host of tacklers. Tarpley and Thomas combine. A loss of 2, and now decision here for Coach Cutcliffe. If you're in his shoes, what do you do?
I think he's going to go for it. I don't think there's any doubt. He's done trying to kick field goals. And in this game, he knows he's got to get points. He's got to get touchdowns. And field goals are not going to get you back into this football game. And you don't even know if you're going to make the field goal if you attempt it. You're 0 for 4.
4th down and 6 from the 14, going for it. 12th play of the drive. Duke trying to come up with something. Here's the blitz. Renfrey gets rid of it quickly. It's incomplete. Knocked down. Matt Massafilo knocked it down. And Duke, with another great drive, comes up with nothing to show for it.
Well, and that was an opportunity for the Duke offense. Make no mistake, that was an all-out blitz, and Sean Renfrey just couldn't diagnose it fast enough and convert.
Clay Matvick, Brian Greasy, and Allison Williams back here in Durham, North Carolina. The number 6 Stanford Cardinal in a battle today with the underdog Duke Blue Devils. For Duke, Brian, it's been a game of missed opportunities.
Well, certainly that last play, 4th down, they had an opportunity, all-out blitz from the Stanford Cardinal on defense. Sean Renfrey had a receiver cutting across the middle, could have got him the football, but those are the kinds of plays that make a difference in these games.
And so Andrew Luck and the Cardinal offense back out there. Stephon Taylor dotting the I behind Luck, and he'll get the handoff on 1st down. Bulls ahead and pushing the pile to the 20-yard line. Walt Canty, the safety, steps up to make the tackle. You know, since that interception that was tipped and taken back for a touchdown by Duke, Andrew Luck 4 for 4 throwing the football, 79 yards and a touchdown. He has really settled things back down.
Well, he's got that laser focus. He's an incredible study in how you bring your team back. You have adversity. That's why he spends so much time talking with his teammates so that they trust that when times are tough, he's going to get them out of bad situations.
2nd down and 4. Taylor trying to get the corner, and does, and he's got enough for a 1st down. What a great run by Stephon Taylor. Kenny Ananicki made the tackle for Duke, but they'll move the chains.
You go back and look, Andrew Luck has an influence in all aspects of the game, even in the running game. You see what he's doing right here? He's checking off at the line of scrimmage, trying to get his players in the best possible position to make plays, whether that's in a pass game, whether that's in protection, or whether it's in the running game.
He is the best in college football at the pre-snap read, and the number of plays that he can compute allow that Stanford playbook to be bigger than most teams.
Well, talking with Coach Pep Hamilton, their offensive coordinator, he thinks he's got a photographic memory and allows them to do so many different things on offense. And they know at the end of the day that Andrew Luck's going to get them in the right play no matter what situation they're in. And that is a huge advantage as an offense because quarterbacks can make those plays against defensive coordinators. You're never going to be wrong.
Now, Charlie Hatcher, the senior captain and the only senior on the Duke front line, is down on the field and he's being looked at. Now, we talked about the playbook for Stanford, Brian. I mean, there's 300-some plays in the Cardinal playbook, and they're all pretty much right there on Andrew Luck's wrist.
All 320 of them, probably. There's 3 panels on that wristband, and actually the center, Sam Schwartzstein, has a panel on his wrist. So they had to go past Andrew Luck. He didn't have enough forearms, so they had to get the center to put a wristband on him to have all the plays in the Stanford offense. Certainly a plethora.
Charlie Hatcher's making his way to the sideline. It appears that he's going to be okay. He's walking off under his own power. So it'll be 1st down and 10. The Stanford 25. This is their first series here. The second half. Quick throw. There's Owusu. Had a touchdown in the first half. Jumps ahead to the 33-yard line. So it'll bring up 2nd down and about 3.
You go back to those wristbands. They'll put all kinds of different plays on there, and these things get wordy. This is an example of an old wristband. This was my armband from the 1998 Rose Bowl, and they'll put in the yellow is the left plays, and these are the plays on the right hash, and they'll just signal in the number, and that allows the quarterback to call the play quicker than actually running it in with a substitute wide receiver or running back.
Looked like a Waffle House menu. There were a lot of food references on there. Here's Luck to throw on 2nd down. And 2, dropped the football, recovered, and has to step out of bounds for a loss. DeWalton Dijo was in pursuit. It's a loss of 4.
Sometimes that ball gets slippery. Andrew tried to get outside the pocket, and when you try to change hands, you gotta make sure you secure the football. That was a lucky bounce to come right back up to you, just run out of bounds.
So now 3rd down and 6 after the loss on the play. What's the play call here?
Well, you put the ball in the hands of your best player, the quarterback, and they're going to come out on an empty set. Look for the tight ends on the interior of the field to convert this 3rd down.
2 for 6 on 3rd down. Luck steps up, and he's got enough. Read the defense, decided it was best in his hands. Matt Daniels made the tackle, but it's a 7-yard gain, and they'll move the chains.
Looks like they're going to measure here. He was right at the sticks. That's the element of Andrew Luck's game that gives nightmares to defensive coordinators. You can talk about his accuracy, you can talk about his intelligence, all those things, but the things that drive defensive coordinators crazy is when you have the perfect call, you drop 8 guys out, your zone defense, you cover everybody except for the quarterback, who then kills you by running with his legs.
It was a closer spot than it originally looked, but it is a 1st down. 816 career rushing yards for Andrew Luck. We talk a lot about his arm. We talk a lot about his smarts, but he's a very good running quarterback, too.
Well, and he's 235 pounds. I mean, he's a big man, big individual. He's got big legs. He's very stout. So that's an element of his game that he has to continue to use.
Tyler Gaffney checks in at running back on 1st down. He will get the carry. Kicks his way to the 40-yard line, and Matt Daniels laying a punishing hit right there. Tyler Gaffney, the 2-sport athlete, also nice outfielder for the Stanford baseball team. The complexity of the Stanford offense, too, needs to be discussed. I mean, going to be a pretty smart quarterback, which Andrew Luck obviously is, to handle that much information and all of the checks.
Well, it's a pro-style offense. David Shaw was with Andy Reid in Philadelphia, is with John Gruden in Oakland. There's a lot of checks, a lot of shifts and motions. He's checking again right now at the line of scrimmage. I mean, these are things he does on a daily basis, every single day, every single play is a check.
2nd down and 5. Over the middle. Caught! Kobe Fleener, the tight end. Touchdown! What a big play for Stanford. 60-yard touchdown pass. Luck to Fleener.
You see Fleener goes right down the middle of the field. That's the weakness of this defense in the 2-deep system. And August Campbell just goes for the swat or the interception, and when you go for the swat, you got to make sure that you get that ball, and that's an easy touchdown for Kobe Fleener. You chip away if you're Stanford on defense, and then the big play hits.
And the extra point for Williamson is good. As a career-long reception for Fleener, his second touchdown of the game. Coming up, he's got 4 NCAA titles, and he's 3 wins away from passing Bob Knight for the all-time wins record in college basketball. We're going to talk to Coach K when we come back to Durham. Coach K through the years at Duke, and before that, of course, at West Point. And there have been some great years for you, Coach K. Mike Krzyzewski, head coach of the Duke men's basketball team, joining us here. Went into the Athletics Hall of Fame here at Duke last night. Congratulations on that honor.
Thank you. It's a great night, and to go in with Bobby Hurley, who was one of the reasons why I'm in it. When a player gets in, especially at their alma mater, it's special. When a coach gets in, he brings all his kids with him.
Duke's going to get the football back here, down 24-7 with 6.5 to go here in the third quarter. Coach, you appreciate good talent regardless of the sport. What are your impressions here watching Andrew Luck?
Well, I think he's brilliant, first of all, and poised. That brilliance, poised. He's in total command. Johnny Dawkins, who is the head coach of their men's basketball team and is on our staff, one of the greatest players here, told me he's like a great point guard.
First down and 10 at the 30 for Duke. We're talking with Mike Krzyzewski, who's ready for basketball season just around the corner. It's going to be a short run here for Duke and bring up 2nd down and 7. And David Cutcliffe and you have a great relationship, the head coach of the Duke football team. And, you've seen a lot of football coaches here at Duke come and go. I know you think that David Cutcliffe has something different that's going to lead to a successful program here. What is it?
Well, I think he believes he can win and will work hard to do it. And we have the school has made a commitment to having an outstanding football program. We just have to make plays. You have to, right at the end of the half, we had a chance to really seize the momentum of this game. And when we got that onside kick, I thought it was a bold move and a great move. And you got to put points on the board at that time. And you do it one time, you'll do it a second time, but you have to do it that first time. And we lost momentum of the game at that point.
3rd down and 7 coming up for Duke. Renfrey out there. We've seen both quarterbacks today for Duke. He's out there now. And Canet on the sideline. There's 6 minutes to go here, third quarter. Renfrey looks left, comes back right. It is caught by Jamison Crowder. Nice move after the catch. He's going to be close to the first down, but now the ball comes loose, and Stanford says they have it. No indication yet from the officials.
Jamison made a great move to get by the first line of defense and just trying to fight for extra yardage around the first down marker, and he did indeed fumble that ball.
Stanford's got it. Boy, this is a tough break, Coach K.
Well, what happens, when you're trying to build a program is when you miss out on momentum, sometimes then it snowballs the other way. And our team right now, when you got to build a program, my feeling is this is one of the biggest defensive stands our team will make. And if we can make that now in the midst of adversity, then you get over a little bit of a hump. And that's how you build character, and that's how you build a winning program.
So Luck at Stanford will have great field position here at the 33-yard line. The 39-yard line.
Take another look, and the ball is coming out now, and that knee is not on the ground. You see space in between his knee and the ground. That is a fumble. And Stanford will take over at the 40-yard line. Definitely a fumble.
Coach, there's potential realignment throughout college sports, and And we're still waiting to see how it's going to affect college football. But if it does happen, it's going to affect college basketball as well. What are your thoughts on the impending big realignments in college athletics?
Well, I think on the horizon, it could be that if you have these mega conferences, that it eventually will have some impact on the NCAA basketball tournament. If you have 4 or 5 major conferences that are trying to rule the world, so to speak, they're going to want to rule more than just the football world. And so I'm concerned about our conference, making sure that we're ready to move in a direction of adding people in case some are subtracted, and where we maintain our level of standing. I mean, this is a proud conference. I'm particularly interested in basketball because we've been one of the great basketball conferences.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Stanford first down.
Coach,
Stanford's got it.
Coach, I wanted to ask before we let you go about Bob Knight and the opportunity you have in the first month of the season to break that record, and what that means to you.
Well, for me, it's great. See, I was his point guard and captain at West Point, and I think it's, Brian, it's unbelievable that the guy who has the record, the first guy over 900, and the second guy, I'm his point guard. I mean, I don't know how that can happen, and I think it shows the excellence of coach.
Not a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence,
The first couple of games are on ESPNU, then a potential to break that record against Michigan State at Madison Square Garden as that pass is complete to Ryan Hewitt, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 3. Let's go back to that schedule, Coach, and early season test with Tom Izzo's team.
Well, for us, we've always tried to play pretty much a top 10 schedule every year, and you only get to be really good if you put your team in tough situations. And we have the talent year in and year out to compete in that type of schedule. And Tom's teams are always very difficult. We're going to play in what's called the first 4 in a doubleheader with Kansas and Kentucky.
2nd down and 3. Luck. The handoff to Jeremy Stewart. And he's going to be stopped just a little bit short. First down, it appears.
You got a lot of talent on your team, but I'm interested in watching the young Doc Rivers kid get out there and play. What have you seen from him? What's he going to do for you?
Well, he did well in the China trip. Brian, he's such a great scorer that his focus has been on that, and now he's got to learn that they're going to go at you defensively, and they're going to try to get you in foul trouble and all that kind of stuff. So, but he wants to learn, and that's the key thing. When one of your most talented players wants to get better, it sets a great tone for your team.
Coach, this is a big play for that Duke defense on 3rd and 1, but it's a run up the middle and a touchdown for Jeremy Stewart. 30-yard touchdown gallop for the 5th-year senior.
Well, I'm going to get out of here, guys, because while I'm on this interview, Stanford's scoring like crazy. I feel like the mush, and but it's a real honor to be on. And
thank you.
And we appreciate your support of our program, and we're going to get better. We're playing against one of the best teams and maybe the best player in America, and hopefully we'll learn from the experience.
Jordan Williamson on for the extra point, and it's no good.
Okay, I'm staying.
Hey, Coach K, don't leave too soon here.
Well, as soon as I said I was going to go, the football gods said, the football gods are pulling me out of here, saying, "Get the heck out of here. You've been a bad luck charm for your team."
Good luck this season, Coach K. Congratulations.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll see you on ESPNU quite a few times this year.
You, guys.
Coach Mike Krzyzewski. It's 30-7, Stanford leading here in Durham.
Period.
Stanford scores again. Jeremy Stewart, a 30-yard touchdown run to make it 30-7 with just over 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. We were talking with Coach K about the realignment. And Larry Scott, the Pac-12 commissioner, says, they would love for the Pac-12 to stay the way it is. Not that they wouldn't welcome teams in if that's what it comes to. He said that last night on the broadcast. ESPN.com reporting that the presidents of the ACC considering increased buyout for members. And Texas A&M has been accepted by the SEC, but there is some pending potential litigation that could halt that. A lot going on when it comes to that topic. Here is Jamison Crowder on the kickoff return, gets to the 20, and a penalty flag down, which we'll talk about in a moment. Under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Let's get an update in the studio.
All right, guys, thank you much. South Carolina, Georgia. South Carolina scored. Aaron Murray came right back down, scored again. Now South Carolina, the fake punt, Melvin Ingram, 65 yards. And what was a slow start has gone back and forth in a hurry. South Carolina back on top by 1, guys.
Mark Richt loses that. Georgia's 0-2. Winner of that game has the front row seat to get to Atlanta representing the East in the SEC title game. Let's go down to Allison.
Well, guys, one thing that the Stanford Cardinal have been dealing with on their defense is a lot of guys have been cramping up. They were just working on Chase Thomas for a while, their linebacker, as well as Jarek Lancaster, a backup linebacker, and safety Delano Howell have all been worked on over here on the sideline, stretching these guys out, trying to deal with some of those cramps that are creeping up in the second half. They also have kind of a neat device over here to keep the guys cool. It's called Core Control, and it was developed by a professor at Stanford that works to lower their internal temperature. So they've been using that a lot, as well as the Gatorade, and just trying to keep these guys from cramping up.
Stanford has a man down now, Allison, but getting up to his feet. Tyler Gaffney.
I wonder if Allison could get one of those core controls up here for us.
Yeah, it's hot up here, too. You're right. Air conditioner in here isn't doing us much good. Now, the baseball team concerned about Gaffney, too, because he's a two-sport star at Stanford. It was a block in the back penalty on the return for Duke, so they've got a long field in front of them here, 1st and 10 from their own 8-yard line. As this game, which was close for a while, now starting to slip away from the Blue Devils.
Well, you saw the effect of the kind of wearing down that last drive of Stanford running the football more effectively than they have in the first half, and then just breaking that long touchdown run.
Renfrey at quarterback. Throws quickly out to the flat. Catch by Brandon Baxton, and he makes his way to the 15-yard line. It's a gain of 7. 2nd down and 3. Well, since that second missed field goal, things have really gone the other way for Duke. 21 points, 184 yards for the Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah, well, you only get so many chances in games like this where you're outmatched physically. You've got to take advantage of those chances, and those first 3 missed field goals in the first half for Duke were absolute killers.
Renfrey making a check at the line. Play clock down to 7. Renfrey, the deep handoff. Just no running room in this game for Duke. Josh Morrow, the backup defensive end, makes the initial hit. It's going to be a 1-yard pickup for Thompson. And again, there just isn't a lot of options in that at that position either for Duke. Josh Sneed out with a foot injury. Desmond Scott, maybe their best runner, out with a knee injury. It's been all Juwan Thompson here today, but he has done little. Hollingsworth checking in now. Renfrey running to throw on 3rd down and 2, and he's hit. Another sack for the Stanford defense, their 5th of the game. It's Shane Scove, who was dinged up a little bit earlier in this game, but obviously he's feeling fine right now.
And he waits to get off to the sideline to show off that new haircut. And it's a good idea, but they're bringing pressure. Scove, again, beats Tomlinson, the right guard. Just too much quickness as a linebacker to get by that offensive guard. And if you're a Stanford Cardinal fan, you're encouraged by this defense. A lot of question marks coming into this season. Last year they were very good on defense, but it started with Sione Foa up front. They don't have him anymore, but certainly they have plenty of talent up front in order to get to the quarterback and stop the run.
A penalty marker down. I don't know if they maybe delay a game probably. Yep.
On the offense. Half a distance to go. 4th down.
But when you go back and look, as they get into the Pac-12 schedule, next week they play Arizona. Great offense. This defense is going to need to carry this team again, in my opinion, because a year ago they were 1st in the conference in points allowed, only allowing 17 points. That has got to be their bread and butter this season.
King gets it away. Drew Terrell. It's going to give Stanford really good field position. stacked up at their 32-yard line and pushed back. It's a 42-yard punt for King, 15-yard return. Well, coming up tonight on ESPNU, the SEC on ESPN, we're in Fayetteville, Arkansas. That offense for Bobby Petrino, always fun to watch, even though they don't have Niles Davis.
No Niles Davis, but Ronnie Wingo. I mean, Ronnie Wingo is a great running back. Tyler Wilson. People forget, this is Tyler Wilson's 4th year in that system with Bobby Petrino. He knows what he's doing. He's got a full complement of wide receivers, Joe Adams and Greg Childs. Those guys, they have plenty of experience and plenty of firepower.
Razorbacks hosting New Mexico. Kickoff 7 o'clock here on the U. Andrew Luck out on the field again with 1 minute and 41 seconds to go. Rolling out to his right. Throws on the run. Has a man caught at the 15. Pushed out of bounds is Griff Whalen, former walk-on and roommate of Chris Owusu. He is a good receiver, too. It's a gain of 22.
And this is what Andrew Luck does so well. Uses his feet, but he's so accurate on the move. That ball over the linebacker, in front of the safety, and only where Griff Whalen can get to it. That's not an easy throw to make stationary in the pocket. Even more difficult when you're on the move getting outside the pocket. But that's the thing, the mobility that Andrew Luck brings to the equation and the accuracy on the move. That's what you get in an Aaron Rodgers kind of player. And I know that Andrew studied Aaron in the offseason, and he certainly looked like him there.
First down at 10 from the 11, knocking on the door to the end zone. Incomplete. Zach Ertz, the tight end, the intended target. Luck almost made that happen, even though there was double coverage there.
Yeah, that's one of the ones you got a one-man route and you just throw it up. That's having complete confidence in your tight end, Zach Ertz. If he doesn't come down with it, then nobody's going to come down with it, or I throw it out the back of the end zone. And that's, you see NFL quarterbacks throw to receivers or tight ends that are blanketed. They're covered, and people say, well, how can you throw the ball? It's hundreds and hundreds of reps in practice knowing exactly where that ball is going to be and having confidence that your receiver will get it.
Second down and 10, Stephon Taylor. Not much there. Bring up third down and fairly long, 3rd and 9.
Go back and look at Andrew Luck's motion. This is the pass on the move. You see the high release. That's really textbook. When a young quarterback learning to throw the ball, you want that high release so that the ball doesn't get batted down at the line of scrimmage. And Andrew, plenty tall enough at 6'4", but that release being high and quick, very difficult for defensive linemen, linebackers to get their hand on the football.
Cam Newton's going to make his first NFL start tomorrow for the Carolina Panthers. That very easily could be Andrew Luck, but he decided to come back to Stanford. 3rd down and 10 from the 11. Little shovel pass to Taylor. And he's going to be stopped at about the 3-yard line, short of the first down by Walt Canty. It's going to likely be the last play of the quarter. So 4th down and about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards to go. 30-7. Andrew Luck and Stanford leading Duke here on the road.
Anywhere.
Well, there's Andrew Luck ready to go back to work. 4th down and 2 to go, ball at the 3-yard line. Since he threw that interception, he's 9 for 10, 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. You can't keep him down.
No, you can keep him down a little bit, but once he gets the running game started and then the play action off of it, very difficult to stop Andrew Luck. He knows what you're going to do on defense. Basically, at the end of the day, his fundamentals are so sound that you can't get him out of his rhythm. You see his footwork here, the efficiency of this footwork. There's no wasted motion, no wasted steps. He's able to use his eyes. You see the focus that he has. Use his eyes to move defenders, and then the release, the quick release and the high release allows him to throw the ball accurately, allows him to get the ball over the defensive line, and those combination of things and the intelligence that he brings to the equation are very, very hard to stop. And at this point, if I had Andrew Luck, I think I'd go for every 4th down because I'd rather have him out there than my kicker.
407 yards of total offense for Stanford. Duke has not been able to slow him down, so why not go for it? Taylor is the tailback. They play fake to him. Luck rolling out to the tight end. Got it. Zach Ertz reaching across the goal line for a touchdown. That's what Stanford does.
That's almost too easy. I mean, if you had those tight ends down here in the red zone, it's so hard to score touchdowns throwing the football. But when you have tight ends like Ertz and like Fleener and like Toilolo, you can throw the ball so much easier because play action marries with throwing the ball to the tight end so much easier than throwing it to wide receivers.
Andrew Luck, 3 touchdown passes to tight ends today. And it's the 5th career 4-touchdown game for Andrew Luck.
And those two guys right there, David Shaw, Andrew Luck, they are on the same page. One of the interesting things David Shaw mentioned to me when I spent some time with him is he has gotten Andrew Luck involved in the game plan process, getting him involved, asking him what he likes in certain situations. And by doing that, he gets Andrew invested in the outcome of the plays that he picks. I thought it was brilliant.
And Williamson with the extra point to make it 37-7. 4 straight drives that have resulted in touchdowns for Stanford.
And this was take your pick. He had Fleener in the back of the end zone. He had Ertz in the front of the end zone. Either one, you take your pick, and another touchdown for the tight end. These guys, this group of tight ends, legitimately, they could have 20 touchdown catches this year. Legitimately.
Well, they've got 3 today. And you talked about it earlier, Brian. If you go back to the bowl game last year, the Orange Bowl, Andrew Luck's 4 touchdown passes were all to the tight ends.
Yeah. Well, and they've got one bona fide all-star receiver in Chris Owusu. And what's going to happen is you're going to have teams like Oregon, like USC, like Arizona State that are going to take away Chris Owusu in man coverage or with a double corner rolled up safety over the top. And that's when the tight ends open up in the middle of the field. And Andrew Luck knows that. The complement between having Owusu and those tight ends and the running game, that's what makes Stanford offense so lethal.
And Levine Toilolo, who hurt his knee on the team's second play last season and missed the entire year. I mean, he could be a real big factor as this season wears on. Another option at tight end. We haven't talked much about him today, but he is very good as Williamson puts a foot into it. There's Jamison Crowder again across the 15, takes it back up the middle to the 30. A good return out to about the 33-yard line. Well, Mondays on ESPNU, Jesse Palmer and David Pollack provide an engaging and interactive look at the past week's college football action and set the scene for the upcoming week's big games. It's Palmer and Pollack, 1 and 9 Eastern every Monday on ESPNU. Fourth quarter now, and Duke down 30 points. Brandon Kennett, the backup quarterback, hands off to Crowder. And he'll pick up close to 5 yards after moving the pile. Second down and 5. You know, David Cutcliffe told us this week, Brian, you know, we were erratic last week in the loss to Richmond. Weren't good enough. We're not a good enough team to be erratic and win, and they had 2 turnovers, the 1 crucial missed field goal. Kind of the same story for Duke here again today, erratic and hurting themselves a lot of time, and now this game is really starting to get away from them late.
This missed field goal, really, if they make those field goals, this is a completely different ball game. They converted, they had great execution on some of the plays in the first half. Clay, the fake punt, the onside kick, the interception return they had momentum changing plays. They just couldn't capitalize. They had 3 drives over 50 yards on offense in the first half and missed every single field goal. You just can't have that happen. And those are such deflating plays. They could have potentially been leading at halftime had they made those field goals.
Kennett, after the loss of 1, stays out there on 3rd and 6. And he's going to get some pressure. Picked up nicely by the tailback, Patrick Karunwane. And Kennett is able to get it downfield. What a beautiful play. He gets it to Vernon. As Karunwane threw a beautiful block in the backfield.
That's a great block. That's some kind of a block that'll make you second guess, blitzing off the edge. Karunwane, number 43, sees it late, but gets back over and hits him right in the chops. Nice job by Kennett finding Vernon streaking across the secondary.
Gain of 35 to the 28-yard line of Stanford. Brunwene stays in the game, a junior out of Austin, Texas. He's number 43. And he'll get the handoff from Kinnett. And just back to the line of scrimmage, no gain. 2nd down and 10. Let's go to the studio and Dari.
All right, guys, don't forget, coming up, Arkansas hosting New Mexico. You can see that top of the hour right here on ESPNU. 2 touchdown passes for Tyler Wilson last week. His Hogs sitting at number 14. We'll see him in less than an hour.
I wonder what Joe Adams is going to do for an encore for the Razorbacks. A couple of punt return touchdowns last week for Arkansas.
He can do pretty much anything he wants. He's got that kind of talent.
Crowder takes it to the wide side.
The thing about Arkansas that I'm really excited to see is their defense. You know, they were one of the most improved defenses in college football last year. People don't realize that playing in that division. But talking with Bobby Petrino at the SEC Media Days later this summer, you know, he said they're finally at the place physically at the defensive tackle position where they need to be to compete on a week-in, week-out basis in the SEC.
Ranked number 14 this week. Now, that is a tough division, the SEC West, but Arkansas with a good start. We could be talking about them challenging the division championship. Kinnett fakes the throw, now tries to run. There isn't much operating room there. Gets to the 26-yard line. Chase Thomas, another leader on that Stanford defense, makes the stop, so now it's 4th down and long.
Well, and you talk about that SEC West. Everybody's talking about Alabama and LSU. LSU certainly proved that they don't need to have a solidified starting quarterback to win. You know, Alabama, I don't know so much. They struggled a little bit today against Penn State without a starting quarterback. And so it'll be interesting to see if Tyler Wilson can emerge out of that conference.
On 4th down, Kinnett in trouble and spun down at the 36-yard line. Chase Thomas again, the 6th Stanford sack today, and Kinnett is slow to get to his feet. 37-7, all Stanford, under 11 minutes to go here in Durham. ESPNU College Football All-State Game of the Week, brought to you by Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. And 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast. Visit 5hourenergy.com. All right, Dari, thank you very much. 10:58 to go here in Durham. 37-7, Stanford with it. They've got the football, and the backup quarterback, Brett Nottingham, is in. Gives it to Anthony Wilkerson for a run of about 5 yards on 1st down. Nottingham made his college debut last week and completed both of his passes for 46 yards and a touchdown. He's from Alamo, California. Had a stellar prep career at Monte Vista High School. And, you know, you got the best college player in the country at quarterback. No questions there, but you need a reliable backup, and they think Nottingham can be that.
Well, you need a future. And I know that Pep Hamilton, David Shaw both feel that Brett Nottingham has the kind of talent and the kind of mental makeup to be the future of this program at the quarterback position after Andrew Luck retires the NFL.
Jeff Meinken, a big run. The fullback rumbling his way to the 20-yard line of Duke. Zach Green finally brought him down, but it's a run of 40 yards. 1st down and 10 from the 20.
And you got to give the fullback some love. This is just a dive. Great vision, cutting the ball back. Meinken breaks attack, and right now he's like, what do I do? What do I do? Look at the stiff arm here. Great, man, that's like Larry Zonka kind of stiff arm there.
Yeah.
Huh? You know what was great about that run was Andrew Luck. I was watching. He was running down the sideline, cheering on his fullback, his backup fullback. That's what Andrew Luck's all about, cheering for every single guy on this team.
That's what leadership is, Andrew Luck.
Not to make Meinken's moment in the sun about Andrew Luck, but I just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah. But, you know, that's the thing. If I'm a backup on this team, I'm standing next to him when he's on the sideline and the game's going on. If he's out of the game, I'm standing next to that guy because I want to learn from him.
Yeah. Well, and he is so self-effacing. He doesn't want to have any credit. He wants the credit to go all to his teammates. When you hear him in an interview, he'll talk about his teammates. He's very uncomfortable with people talking about him and what he's accomplished. So it's just a very humble and very refreshing in today's college football.
20 for 28, 290 yards, 4 touchdowns today for Andrew Luck. Wilkerson takes the run, bounces it to the outside, and it's an 8-yard run. So second down and about 2 coming up. Let's go down to Allison.
Clay, a tough break for Brandon Connett, quarterback for Duke, taken in for x-rays. They're saying he has an AC separation in his left shoulder. The good news, though, it does sound like Sean Renfree is okay to go back in.
And the other option, a quarterback for David Cutcliffe, would be Anthony Boone, the third stringer, but he's a redshirt freshman. Thank you, Allison. We have high hopes for Brandon Connett. He's a dual threat quarterback, but taken in for x-rays right now. Under 9 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Brett Nottingham in at quarterback. Drops, looks to throw. And there's plenty of running room. He's heading to the end zone, dives, and they're going to mark him down at the 1. Nottingham almost had his second career touchdown. It's a gain of 10, and it's first down and goal to go.
Boy, a great decision, though. You see the speed that Nottingham has. He's certainly able to throw the football. I watched him in practice, got a ton of talent throwing the ball, but almost got in the end zone. His knee came down just before the goal line, but had the speed and the decision-making not to try to force that ball, tuck it down, try to make hay with your legs. Good decision.
Stanford now at 190 yards rushing. Gaffney gets the handoff to the end zone. He got it. Touchdown. Tyler Gaffney.
Really is an embarrassment of riches in the backfield for Stanford with all the guys, Stephon Taylor, Wilkerson, Gaffney, Jeremy Stewart had that long touchdown run early in the third quarter. They're going to need depth at the running back position as they go through that Pac-12 schedule.
And Williamson on the point after touchdown. Missed one earlier, makes this one. And it's now 44-7 with exactly 8 minutes to go. Second touchdown run this season for Tyler Gaffney. And cheerleading Andrew Luck. His day's over.
Dory Noka in studio alongside Matt Stinchcomb. Don't forget, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Arkansas, New Mexico. That's Joe Adams. Had 2 punt return touchdowns last week against Missouri State. He's the league's special teams player of the year. There he is.
Not a bad receiver on top of that when you look at it. Tyler Wilson throwing the football. Bobby Petrino's offense looking for Joe Adams in the passing game.
That's right. They got some weapons. That game top of the hour, guys.
All right, fellas, thank you. 8 minutes to go here, fourth quarter. And Duke down 44-7. Going to have it here at the 24-yard line. Time now for tonight's Good Hands Play, brought to you by Allstate. Andrew Luck loves his tight ends.
Supreme confidence throwing the ball down the field to Kobe Fleener and Zach Ertz. You see Fleener, the strength of his hands, go up and get that football and then finish at the end. You're going to see a lot more plays like this the rest of the season from Kobe Fleener. If they get that running game going, that can complement the play-action game over the top.
Since that interception, Stanford has had 5 drives. They have all resulted in touchdowns. As Anthony Boone, the third-string quarterback for Duke, is on the field. It's the handoff to Patrick Karunwume. The junior out of Austin, Texas, lunges ahead, a 5-yard run. Give him 6. It'll bring up second down and 4. Wayne Lyons, the cornerback, made the stop. Anthony Boone scored a touchdown on his second career snap last week, a 6-yard touchdown run. All 3 quarterbacks played last week. That's the case again this week for Duke. As Brandon Connett has been taken off for x-rays. I think it's a shoulder injury of some kind, and he's being looked at now. Jamison Crowder, nice run after the catch, a first down and more to the 47-yard line. First and 10 from the 47, a gain of 17. Jordan Richards on the hit.
Jamison Crowder is a true freshman. We were talking with David Cutcliffe about him yesterday. He's got a lot of ability. He's a great returner on special teams, but he's the kind of guy that Duke needs to continue to recruit. There's a very special kind of player that both of these programs can recruit because of the academic rigor at both universities. They've got a very limited pool of resources to recruit from.
Anthony Boone on first down, rolling out to the left. complete to Tyree Watkins. It's a gain of about 5 yards. David Shaw has his dream job at Stanford. First-year head coach, taking over after Jim Harbaugh resigned and went on to the 49ers after that 12-1 season. And Shaw was very touched when he was accepted after that long interview process and got the job at Stanford. Large part because of his dad and you know, everything that Willie Shaw went through in his career. Many times up for head coaching jobs and turned down, even at Stanford, and his son David gets the job. This is a good run for Karunune and up the sideline inside the 20-yard line and out at about the 17.
Willie Shaw had the job at Stanford until a guy by the name of Bill Walsh threw his hat into the ring. It was all of a done deal, but certainly when David Shaw finally did get the call, he was very emotional for him because he felt like he was living the dream for both he and his father, and that was special. But make no mistake, he is very deserving of this position. I don't think there's any question he was the man for the job at Stanford.
Right.
From his resume, his history there, and his ability to coach.
Offense, number 79, 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Run, and it's going to be wiped out. Kyle Hill, the left tackle, on the penalty. Yeah, David Shaw, on top of his college experience, 9 years in the NFL.
Yeah, no, he's certainly, listen, he's learned from some of the best, as we mentioned, Andy Reid, John Gruden, offensive football. He was a quarterback coach for Rich Gannon in Oakland when Rich Gannon was lighting up the NFL with this offense. So he understands how to run this offense, and I think it's a unique one throughout college football. I don't see anybody else doing what David Shaw's doing on offense.
Anthony Boone throws over the middle, complete to the 40-yard line. It's an 11-yard play. Blair Holiday with his first career catch. It's a first down.
And a good throw. Standing in the pocket. Boone throws that ball accurately on time in the chest of Holiday. Allows him to catch that ball and take the hit for the first down.
Gain of 11. First and 10 at the 40 of Stanford. 5.5 to go. Boone. Karunune is going to stumble in the backfield, won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. How is David Shaw different than Jim Harbaugh? Because Andrew Luck has been very outspoken about his good relationship with David Shaw, and you really don't get the impression that he had that with Harbaugh.
Well, I think the relationship with Jim Harbaugh was fine with Andrew Luck. I just think that he's a very different person outwardly. His emotions, he doesn't show his emotions as much as Jim Harbaugh did, obviously, but there is that same fire, make no mistake, inside of David Shaw's belly that was there with Jim Harbaugh.
Incomplete. To hit to Blair Holiday again.
That competitiveness, I think, is what's similar. And talking with David Shaw, he says Jim Harbaugh fought a lot of fights at the University of Stanford that he will not then have to fight when it comes to how they were going to act, how they were going to win. Jim Harbaugh had a saying, we can win and we can be nasty doing it. And at Stanford, that was a whole new way of thinking. This was a program that has won one outright Pac-10 championship since 1971. And now they're going to be perennial favorites in the division, in my opinion.
Yeah, there are high expectations, as you would expect this year. And that ball is incomplete, intended for Watkins. Good coverage in the secondary there by Brown. Here's the Stanford schedule. You mentioned they're at Arizona on ESPN next week. And then you look ahead to that game against Oregon, November 12th, and then Notre Dame to wrap it up.
Yeah, Notre Dame, I mean, that's the rivalry game for them, but make no mistake, that Oregon game will be the season for Stanford. USC, as you look at it, has not played well early in this season. I don't think they're going to have too much trouble with them. They beat them a year ago, but that Oregon game is going to be a huge game in the Pac-12.
Boone is complete to Jay Hollingsworth. It's going to be close to a Duke first down. James Vaughters, the inside linebacker, to stop. And it's a gain of 12.
Vaughters, a true freshman that came in at the linebacker position. He's a guy they're counting on to play a lot this season defensively. Talking with David Shaw, they're getting back to the recruiting. There's not many places where they can go and find the kind of student and football player to play at Stanford he says there's probably 60 players on an annual basis that we can really access and have on our program, in our program at Stanford.
It's really the case for Duke as well. They're recruiting the same player essentially. The pass, the tight end Braxton Deaver, and he's going to make the catch and pick up 9 on first down. Second down and about 1, maybe 2 coming up. You know, and we talked about the recruiting footprint. It's going to be hard for Duke to get what Stanford has, because now that Stanford is winning and taking some of these players away from Duke and other programs that have high academic standards, it's going to be hard for David Cutcliffe to reach what Stanford has. They certainly want that.
Well, I think it was interesting talking with Coach Cut yesterday. He doesn't look at the academics of a potential recruit first. He looks to see if the guy's a football player, and he errs on that side first. He says, look, you could have a 1600 SAT, but if you can't play football, you're not really any good for me. So he wants to find that good football player that's also committed to academics and has character. That's how he approaches it, and I think it's very similar to what David Shaw, and there are plenty of players across this country that do well in the classroom and that can play big-time football.
On 3rd and 2, caught by Corey Gaddis, and he's going to stop well short of the first down. In fact, a loss of 3, so 4th down and 5. The Duke graduation rate for the football team, 96%. David Cutcliffe is very happy where the academics are at. A lot of programs have to struggle with that to keep players eligible. What he just needs now is players that can compete on the gridiron too.
You see his expression. He'd like to win some football games.
Yeah.
This has been a tough start to the season. He knew this was going to be a tough game, but to start 0-2, they had high expectations coming into the season. That's a tough way to start.
Going for it on 4th down all afternoon. 4th down and 5 here from the 25. Anthony Boone throws, and it's complete. It's Braxton Deaver again, and he gets to the 5-yard line. Braxton Deaver, 6'5", 215, a redshirt freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and maybe opening some eyes here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, he looks like he could be a player. Got good size, but I'm impressed with Anthony Boone. Again, throwing that ball accurately over the middle, standing in the pocket and delivering. This is the first time Boone has played at any extended period, and I know that every time you step on that field, you're going to be evaluated. And David Cutcliffe is going to evaluate this film of Anthony Boone and help him get better. He may be the future at quarterback for the Devils.
Keeps it himself. Lunges inside the 5 to about the 2-yard line. Terrence Stevens, the nose, made the tackle, a gain of 3 for Anthony Boone. He has engineered a 15-play drive here in the 4th quarter with 1:33 seconds to go. 2nd down and 2 from the 2. That's goal to go.
Well, he brought you all the way down here. You got to anticipate they're going to let him take it in. I mean, this is his bread and butter. Down here, he'll line up in the shotgun. They'll direct snap it to him, and he'll make a couple guys miss and bowl over one more for the touchdown.
There's 8 minutes on the clock when this drive started. And penalty markers. Some movement on that line.
They were going to run the naked. He was going to have a run-pass option on the edge.
There was no foul on the play. The defense only had 11 players.
I tell you, when it's going bad for you, Duke, it's going really bad for you. They had a touchdown there. They had a perfect play called. And
now Duke calls a timeout. We'll step aside. 44-7 Stanford. Duke driving. New Mexico and Arkansas. It's going to be a good one. Be tuned in. Meanwhile, back here, Anthony Boone has led an impressive drive to the Stanford 2-yard line. 2nd down, goal to go from the 2. Trying to score an offensive touchdown for the first time today. It's Boone wrestling his way in. That's the first touchdown by an opposing offense that Stanford has allowed this year. And Anthony Boone earning some points, literally and figuratively.
That was power. Ran over that defender, Anthony Boone. If he gets a congratulations there from Coach Cutcliffe. I don't care what point in the game you score a touchdown, lead your team down. It's significant.
An extra point. Jeffrey Eas. And it's 44-14.
If Anthony Boone can put together throwing the football with this kind of power running, he could be a force to be reckoned with for the Blue Devils.
Cardinal have set school scoring records each of the last 2 years. David Shaw has another potent offense, a very good defense. Again, this year it's 44-14 with under a minute to go. And Stanford will get the ball back again, bringing it out. Across the 20-yard line down to the 22. And Monday afternoon, ESPNU debuts Final Verdict as Lou Holtz and a variety of contributors will be casting judgments on the weekend's hot topics in college football. Final Verdict on ESPNU Monday at 4:30 Eastern. You know, Lou Holtz could talk about the phone book, and he'd make it entertaining.
All right, so what's your final verdict? I want your final verdict on Andrew Luck and whether he's going to win the Heisman this year.
I really think that there's no shot that anybody else wins it if he does what he's been doing. All he's got to do is stay consistent. And how consistent was he after throwing that interception? 5 drives, 5 touchdowns for Stanford. And if he does that, which you'd expect he will do based on his past history, he's your Heisman winner.
I think the Oregon game will play a lot into that decision, but certainly 22 wins now as a starting quarterback, tied for second in school history with one Jim Plunkett, who is in the College Football Hall of Fame. And there's been a number of well-documented superstar quarterbacks come out of Stanford, from Jim Plunkett to John Elway and now Andrew Luck. And certainly I think he has the potential to put himself in that class.
Second in the Heisman voting last year to Cam Newton. Has run there on second down. Gain of 9 and a first down. Let's look at the quarterback comparison, Plunkett and Elway. And you mentioned Andrew Luck now in that conversation when you bring up those guys.
Well, and you see the longevity. Certainly this is a big number. That's a big number. It's going to be difficult to pass those. Luck may have an opportunity to do that, but you know, those two guys have gone on, both won Super Bowl championships, 2 of them for each of them, and that, at the end of the day, is the measure of the iconic quarterbacks in this game. He certainly has people to look up to.
Caught by Jamal Rashad Patterson. Good run after the catch, shot across the 40-yard line, about the 41. You know, only 14 Heisman winners have returned. Now, again, he finished second in the running. It is rare, though, that a guy who is, you know, going to make the trip out to New York even comes back. And, you know, Andrew Luck took a risk in coming back. I think it's going to pay off for him and the Stanford Cardinals, certainly.
I think he had unfinished business. He really did. I think this is a great opportunity in history for Stanford and the Cardinal. He knows that this team has the potential not just to win the Pac-12 championship, but to potentially compete for the national championship. And I think that's a big reason why he came back. He feels they have an opportunity.
Andrew Luck, 20 for 28. Nearly 300 yards passing, 290 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns. Once again, final score, Stanford 44, Duke 14. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Brian Greasy, Allison Williams, and our entire crew, I'm Clay Matvick. We say so long from Durham, North Carolina. We now send you to our Sports Center U studios, getting ready for New Mexico and number 14, Arkansas. Dari Noka, take it away.